educational, commentary, and research purposes. All rights belong to their respective owners. No copyright infringement is intended.
Be-do-do-do-do-do. We're on.
I didn't get any of it. I just sent you a message. It's like, what happened? I was like, nothing happened.
Did you guys hear the intro out there?
I didn't at all.
Okay, you guys, tell me if everybody heard the intro. People on chat. Georgie, did you? Hey, George, I'm going to start this thing. Hey, George, did you hear the intro go?
Hey,
Can
Jeffrey,
you guys hear?
Did you guys hear the intro?
I need a thumbs up on sound, please. I need a thumbs up on sound. Jeffrey's talking about not believing in days. We'll get back to that, Jeffrey. But can somebody please tell us, heard it? Okay, George heard it. So I don't know what's going on your side. That's really weird. But welcome, everybody. I'm Akashi Chris. We're here on Mindforked in Cosmic Carousel, where I have my sister.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hello, everybody. So great to be here. Gonna be a fun show today.
We are so excited. So backstage, we have two legends. So please share the shows. If you're on Mindforked or on Cosmic Carousel, please share the show, tweet it out, make sure that people hear about this, because this is going to be, it's going to be a really special show. I'm really excited about this. So real quick, I don't want to leave them waiting too long, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce these guys. So I'm going to say hi to chat. We have Jeffrey, we have George, and we have Fab, and we have Fifi, and we're hoping to get more friends because it's going to be so much fun. So I think I'm going to introduce our friends. What do you think?
I think that's a great thing.
Okay, first I need to find my intro. Okay, so everybody, I'm so excited about this. Terry Albright and Tom Muzila have been longtime collaborators since the 1970s, blending their unique talents in film, martial arts, and the unexplained. Terry brings his background in special effects and documentary work, including projects tied to UFO research and Dorothy Izatt Project, which we'll be talking about tonight. While Tom adds his experience as a stuntman, bodyguard, and martial artist, who's worked with Hollywood stars and trained alongside legends like Steven Seagal and many more. You'll be seeing that tonight too. Together, they've shared decades of friendship, adventure, and exploration into mysteries both on and off screen. And I am just blessed and grateful, and I think Sati is too, of getting to know these guys, because we're going to be doing some really cool stuff. So without further ado, here you go. We got Terry Albright back on Mindforked, Terry, and Tom Muzila. Tom.
I can see Mr. Tom.
Can you see Tom? Hold on. I forgot to get my female crowd.
Okay. Great.
The girls. Those are our groupies. Come on, groupies.
Yes.
Stop it. Yes.
Right.
Stop. We got to chill the groupies. The groupies come out for all our special guests. You're definitely it. Say hello, guys. Tom, Terry, how you guys doing today? Where are you right now? Where are you guys at? Tell the crowd where you guys are at.
Okay.
Well,
I'm in Southern California in Orange County, south of Los Angeles, and on the planet Earth right now.
And so are we, I think. Maybe at the end of the show, we might be like flying off somewhere. And Terry, where are you joining us from?
I'm not so sure I'd agree. I'm not so sure that I'd agree that Tom's on planet Earth. I mean, he may think he is, but I don't know. I know half the time I'm not. I'm in Kansas. Yeah, so sometimes we end up other dimensions, you know.
Well, what did you say, Terry?
Multi-dimensions. Yes. I'm in multi-dimensions at this time.
We're going to be talking.
I'm just a little ways from you, actually. I looked it up. I think we decided we're like 6 hours apart, aren't we?
We're thinking about meeting up at some point. We're not that far away because I'm in Oklahoma. You're in Kansas. Sati is in Tennessee.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
hey, you guys. I'm simultaneously, George says he is simultaneously in the Pleiades.
Yay!
Here's
All
George
right.
is part of the fam here. He's actually, he shows up as a guest a lot on the show. So,
Giddy up,
okay.
George.
So we're going to warm things up a little bit. So if you guys can bear with us, we have a surprise for you guys. You guys
Oh,
ready
wow.
for this? Yes. Okay. So
I'm
for
just go ahead.
no, you go ahead, Terry.
Oh no, I can't. I've been wondering all week what this surprise is. So hit
Well,
us with it.
okay. And let me give you some background. So part of one of the reasons why I called this show my channel Mindforked is because I like to surprise and mindfork my guests. So I always say, who's getting mindforked next? So get ready to get mindforked, people, because we are going to show you a little piece we put together. So just as a background, in looking at you guys' lives, and looking at all the pictures that you sent and the stories that you have to tell, I questioned the first thing. I was like, man, this guy's lives belong in a museum. So that sparked some thoughts, because I used to have a show when I first started, before Terry came on the show. I used to have a thing called Night at the UFOseum, and it was featuring like artists, and specifically more like digital artists or physical artists that, paint, whatever, in the UFO space. But I'm like, man, these guys' lives, we shouldn't limit it to us. We should include these great paranormal researchers and these people in the field that are doing great things. So are you guys ready?
Yes.
Is
Are you
the
sure
ready?
everything's appropriate, right?
Everything is appropriate, honey. Yeah, no. We would not use bad pictures, so don't worry. Okay, so without further ado, let me get this set up, and we are going to play you your own Night at the UFOseum. And I'm going to need some hands on volume. Make sure that this sounds okay, chat. So let me know once I play this. Here you go. Hi. Welcome to the new Night at the UFOseum. I am Akashi Chris, and I will be your tour guide this evening. I am a virtual representation of the real Akashi, just like you needed two of us. This evening, you get special access to the brand new Tom and Terry wing,
I love it.
dedicated to the legacy of Tom Muzila and Terry Albright. If you encounter a magical creature during this tour, please.
Amazing.
Oops.
What?
This is the lobby. Here you'll find your cosmic concession stand, books, merch, and more.
Step right up, folks, and get your new cosmic elixir. Cures everything, from a stub toe to a cut finger to a headache to internal issues. Step right up.
And now we're walking, and now we're stopping at our first stop, which is Terry's Blue Suede Hall, dedicated to Terry Albright.
Wow.
Terry Albright is a longtime researcher and documentarian with a passion for exploring the unexplained, best known for his work on the Dorothy Izatt Project and his lifetime dedication to searching for the truth. Terry has spent decades studying anomalous phenomena with a sharp eye for detail and a commitment to uncovering truth. Albright brings a unique blend of curiosity, technical skill, and storytelling to his investigations, making him a respected voice in the field of UFOs and the paranormal.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein became fictional folklore, but the strangest account wasn't to be found in the pages of a Gothic novel, but with our 26th president, Theodore Roosevelt.
In the late 1800s, the woods of this country, the wilderness areas, were wild and dangerous. President Roosevelt found out just how dangerous these wilderness areas could be.
His friendship with the legendary Tippi Hedren spans decades and continues to today. His days as a musician, Elvis impersonator, and special effects expert add to the mystery that is Terry. Did you know he worked on a commercial with Sammy Davis Jr.?
Portals 3, 8, and 12 now open for boarding. Portals 3, 8, and 12. Going once. Going twice. Portals are closed.
We're walking. Please do not leave any items behind in the Terry Blue Suede Hall as we are moving over to Muzila's dojo. Interesting people are like binary stars, and this duo is no exception. Tom Muzila is a martial artist, stuntman, and paranormal explorer who's been chasing mysteries alongside his close friend Terry Albright since the 1970s. From Hollywood sets to late-night sky watches, Tom brings the discipline of a fighter and the curiosity of a seeker. Whether training stars, working in films, or investigating the unknown with Terry, he's spent a lifetime walking the line between action and the unexplained.
It's a police emergency. I'm a cop. On your knees. Give me the phone. Let's go.
Hey, this guy's got to work too, you know?
Get down, asshole.
You want to get down?
And we're walking right through Sati's ayahuasca trip and into our next stop, Tom and Terry's Hollywood Boulevard.
Wait! Where are all these crows coming from? Did you say Hong Kong Phooey?
Welcome to Tom and Terry's Hollywood Boulevard, a gallery where cinema magic meets these real-life legends. Terry Albright's fingerprints can be found on some of Hollywood's most unforgettable moments. His work in special effects helped bring to life the time-traveling thrills of Back to the Future, the larger-than-life wonder of Harry and the Hendersons, and even the untamed chaos of the cult classic Roar with his friend Tippi. Meanwhile, Tom Muzila lived on the other side of the silver screen, the protector, the confidant. As a trusted bodyguard, he stood watch over icons like Oprah Winfrey, Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, Candice Bergen, and more, ensuring that the biggest stars could shine under Hollywood's brightest lights.
Get your hands on your head. Get them on your head. Turn around.
Hope you've kept up with your belongings. We have 2 more rooms to go.
It's your moon water here. Charged moon water.
We're walking to the footnote, a room dedicated to all of Tom and Terry's Bigfoot adventures. For decades, Terry Albright and Tom Muzila have chased the mystery of Bigfoot. Terry, the meticulous researcher, follows the tracks, the stories, and the evidence left in the woods. Tom, the disciplined martial artist and bodyguard, ventures further, exploring the possibility that Bigfoot communicates through telepathy. For them, the search is more than a hunt for a creature. It's a journey to uncover truth and to understand a mystery that may be far stranger than legend.
All for Isis and Osiris's ship to Sirius B. Last call for Isis and Osiris. Ship to Sirius B.
Gather your belongings, folks. We're headed to the last room. We're walking to the room dedicated to the wonderful Dorothy Izatt. Dorothy Izatt's Pavilion. Dorothy Izatt was not just a witness. She was a documentarian of the extraordinary. With nothing more than a home movie camera, she captured hundreds of unexplained phenomena, glowing orbs, radiant beams, and shapes that defied explanation. What others dismissed as imagination, she preserved as undeniable evidence.
This is a single frame of Dorothy's film, equivalent to 1/18th of a second. The streaks do not appear on the frame before or after this one, suggesting that the light is moving great distances in an 1/18th of a second.
We looked up into the sky, Dorothy too, and she went to the window and she looked up and she said, "Oh, come on. Do something for my friends. They've been here for so long." And right away, 3 shafts of light, as bright as anything, just shot right up into the air where we were watching.
My communications with the light beings are that they're very worried about us humans because we usually do things without thinking. The weapons we build, the way we raping the earth without thinking of the consequences.
In this room, her legacy shines in every frame. The story of a woman who turned her lens towards the unknown and brought the mysteries of the cosmos into the light. Thank you for joining us on this special tour in Night at the UFOseum, Tom and Terry's Wing. Thank you to Tom and Terry, and make sure you stop at our concession stand on the way out and see Sati.
Half-price moon martinis for happy hour.
Something tells me you've had too many already. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Lay off the sauce, sister. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Wow, that was incredible. Thank you so much.
That was great, you guys.
You just got mindforked.
You just outdid yourself. Only one correction I got.
Did you like it?
That really ugly guy.
Oh, it's
really
beautiful.
Ugly guy with Candace Bergen was me.
I know that. I know that's you. But he had it under his right? You did you were a bodyguard to Candace Bergen, no?
It was Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh man. Okay, I will fix it because that is going to go out as its own video, by the way.
Yeah.
And you guys can use it for whatever you want. So I will make the correction and I will send that out.
But I think Tom, didn't you say you worked on something with Candace Bergen?
Yeah. I thought I read that.
I think you did, didn't you?
Yeah, just slowly. And I worked with Tippy on one movie we did. I woke up early the day I died with Billy Zane. And yeah, she was great. You know, whatever happened to that sanctuary she had for animals?
That's called Shambhala, and
Yeah.
that is out near Palmdale.
Yes.
And it's still going strong. Tippy is like trying to raise money every time she gets the chance. She doesn't go out nearly as much as I wish she would, but
Right.
they always need money to raise those animals. It costs like $5,000 a week to feed those animals.
Oh,
And
I can imagine at
anybody
least.
listening, contact Tippy Hedron at Shambhala and send them a few dollars.
Yeah.
I can put it on
sure
the
she can use
video on the description. I'll go ahead and put it like the
That'd be
link
great.
in case anybody wants to give to Tippy's, you know, because
Great.
that was such a mission for her. It was so weird, you know. First she did the birds and then she winds up doing this tiger movie. It's like this
Yeah.
is awesome.
Well, you know,
And,
she probably would have done a lot more, but Alfred Hitchcock went after Tippy, and Tippy didn't want any of that. So
Wow.
since she wasn't cooperating, Alfred Hitchcock kind of blackballed her, or at least badmouthed her to a point where she didn't work for a while in the industry. Then she kind of slowly got back into doing things, and of course now all that's behind. But and all of her work with Roar and with Shambhala. And by the way, the Roar Foundation is what you would Google to get a hold of the foundation and the ranch. And they also have tours and banquets and different things that you can attend and see the animals and meet Tippy. And Melanie Griffith always comes. That's Tippy's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And Dakota Johnson is Tippy's granddaughter. So I don't know how often she shows up, but Melanie's always around the ranch. So it's kind of...
Where is the ranch? Where is the ranch?
The ranch is
Palmdale,
out,
right?
It's out just this side of Palmdale.
Yeah.
In Soledad Canyon Road, on Soledad Canyon Road. That's where a lot of the stuntmen and a lot of the movie sets are. And just across the freeway from Tippy, if you go across the little mountain range right there by Tippy's, just across the freeway is Vasquez Rocks, which Tom probably knows. We do a lot of filming at Vasquez Rocks. The opening to Laramie is there. I mean, oh my gosh. Every time I turn around, I'm going, oh, there's Vasquez Rocks. So
they've done so many Westerns there. Hundreds of Westerns.
Oh, yeah. And we used to, when we were out there shooting, we'd always try to climb up the rocks. And there's a couple that are overhangs, and we'd try to see if we can climb up underneath the overhangs, and they'd give us something to do while we're waiting. But Vasquez Rocks is something that... But anyway, the reason I mentioned that is because there's so much filming that goes on in Soledad Canyon and that around Palmdale.
Right.
They filmed one of the Star Treks out around Palmdale, a whole bunch of different things because they use that desert scenario. And if you look at some of the early shows, like Roy Rogers, Lone Ranger, all of those shows were filmed right there around Palmdale, right around where the ranch is. Anyway, that's a little background on where Tippy's ranch is. So that's...
one of the things that I wanted to make sure, I don't think that I mentioned to people, is that, and the video kind of showed you, for the people that are watching, how much we're talking about. I mean, the legacy that, the many projects that you guys have worked on, the many different areas. So this is actually one of 3 shows that we're going to be doing. And tonight we're going to be focused on UFOs, consciousness, and Dorothy Izatt. And we definitely want to hear, in a second, I want to hear how you guys came together, because it's like you guys were meant to meet. So I'm dying to hear you meet cute. But
I'll let
one more thing.
Terry tell you.
Tom,
yeah. In a minute, because the other thing, the second... Go ahead, Terry.
Tom, we should be sure and mention how we worked with Peter Gatella, because Peter Gatella kind of, after I was introduced to Peter by Stanton Friedman, then Peter and Tom and myself and Bobby Slate and all of us kind of came together because Peter was doing so much research and all that. So I would have to credit Peter for getting us all together, wouldn't you, Tom?
Yes, right. And that was what, 70, early 70s, 73, I think, right? Because I just got out of service too.
Well, when I was introduced, when Stanton Friedman found me, I was living in Pasadena and working at the Naval Undersea Research and Development Center. And Stanton Friedman contacted me, and then he immediately put me in touch with Bobby Slate and Peter Gatella. And from there, I met you, and it just all got out of control from there.
Yeah, what's really interesting, I was going to Long Beach City College, and there was a Professor Richard Spurney. He was a theologist. You remember him, Terry?
Absolutely.
And he had he was the first one to really advertised that intuition and ESP was natural with human beings. Before there, 60s, 70s, they thought any kind of intuition, psychic abilities was a cult. And they had some of the old seers, Gene Dixon, Cabrini Kincaid, all these seers that they figured were part of the cult. But Richard Spurney, being a professor, he analyzed it and he proved that all of us had it. So he organized a few 5-person teams to prove it. And usually most of them women, because, 3 women or 4 women on a team, might be 1 or 2 guys, because more intuitive, sensitive, and emotional that way. And then what we did, we worked with police departments. We worked with psychiatrists. We worked with doctors, lawyers, all kinds of things to try to use intuition and ESP to a practical mode. But, with the police department, we found a number of missing persons, and we solved some cases that were unsolved using intuition, using double blind, putting a photo in an envelope and you don't know what it is. But, they can make it popular at that time because it was considered a cult, and then Peter heard about Dr. Richard Spurney about using intuitive psychic people to apply that to Bigfoot, UFOs, and aliens. And then that's how connected with Terry.
Well, yeah, and that's Professor Spurney. We talked a few times, and Peter and I actually went down to Long Beach to meet with him a few times, and we did some remote viewing. And I think I think you were doing it at the same time we were, and we hadn't done a whole lot as a team at that time. And then we all got together and started doing some readings on missing persons and Bigfoot locations and UFO and all that kind of thing.
Yes,
and that's where Tom is really. If you sit down and talk to Tom, he will absolutely blow you away.
Oh, thank you. I don't know about that, but
you blow me away a million times. You'll say things on a show or on an interview with me and with Peter, and you'll come up with stuff that we really should talk more about. So just so the girls know, Tom has got so much education, and he's so intuitive and so knowledgeable in those fields. Of course, he uses it in his martial arts. Why do you think he's so darn good?
We already have a question for Tom. I'm going to go ahead and pop it up. Yes, we do. From Curious George. He wants to know if either of you guys has done any readings on Mars and what's on Mars. I guess that's probably a reference back to Joseph McGonigal that has done readings about Mars, astral projection.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll be happy to theorize that. I think personally, from all my research, I think at one point in history, Mars was very popularized and civilized. Whether it's more aliens or hybrids or something, because, there's like 66,000 anomalies on Mars they've taken pictures of, and Terry knows because he's got first-class security information that NASA covers up or they block it out, because there's pyramids there, there's obelisks, a lot of Egyptian architecture there, and something happened, whether some planet hit it or a war or something. There's one canyon that's on one side of Mars. I think it's like 4,000 miles long. It's like the Grand Canyon, but 500 times bigger, deeper, everything. It's like a big scar. And they're theorizing all kinds of theories what happened. If that was a moon or planet or a war or laser or something. So it destroyed civilization there. So they had to escape somewhere else, wherever. So that's my theory. Now, I don't know if there's anything there. There's been some funny photographs of some creatures there that satellite picked up, but NASA covers all that stuff up. So we'll see. I'm sure the answers will come out soon.
Well, the Valles Marineris is the valley you're talking about. Tom.
Yeah.
Huge
There's
star,
George.
which no one can agree on what caused that, you know.
Yes.
And I did some Joe McGonigal and I used to talk a little bit, so I kind of got into remote viewing. And at one time, McGonigal and his group were doing remote viewing on Mars. So I thought, well, I really want to do some of that. So I did some remote viewing, and I came up with I didn't want to know what McGonigal came up with. So I did my own before I looked into what they found. And somehow or another, I was able to come up with pyramids, with underground chambers,
right,
with a very tall and slim, or skinny actually, people that lived there at one time. Their skin was like the grays that we have around on in the UFOs that we come across constantly. We're always hearing about the grays. Well, these are not little short midget-like grays. These are very tall, skinny grays, like the Watusi tribe of Mars.
right.
But my own readings, it takes me probably 2 or 3 hours to do a full one, but my own readings that I have come up with is that the atmosphere of Mars, due to the lack of gravity and magnetization shifts on the planet Mars, caused the atmosphere to go away. And when that happened, there was nothing else for them to do but try to find somewhere else to go. Frankly, right. I have always kind of felt like I had a very strong connection to Mars. Same way I've always felt as though I have a very strong connection to Atlantis, for whatever reason. And so I kind of agree with you, Tom. There was a population there. I think we're all Martians, frankly, and people will laugh at that, but I really feel like our original civilization was on Mars. Right. I see you clapping. You know, don't you feel that way, kind of?
Oh,
I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
No, but I was thinking, you know, we've talked about it before, but another predominant alien, you know, that's very strong and influence human civilization are the Anunnaki, you know, and they've been all over the universe. I mean, I don't know if it was them or some other type of alien that, or, you know, humanoid that was there, or hybrid or something, but they occupied the universe for hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years. And actually, from research I've done, they were on planet Earth. They came like 450,000 years ago and populated Earth and interbred with humans and everything, you know. So they've been all over the place, you know.
Well, you know, Tom, they're coming up now. Of course, the Smithsonian hides everything.
Right.
If you get an extraordinary bone, they are finding bones, thigh bones, that are 3 foot in length.
Yes.
You know, and they're thinking maybe it's Anunnaki. Probably. We're not sure. But, you know, the Bible talks about the Anunnaki.
Yes.
So,
Onyx, they call it.
The researchers in our field aren't the only source for that information. So if the Smithsonian wasn't hiding everything they get, we might know a heck of a lot more about what actually happened on the Earth. And also, Tom, you and I have talked a little bit about some of the ancient structures.
Yes.
Like the Tartarian civilization, and the mud, the great mud flow that happened. What am I trying to say? The mud. Anyway, there was a
mudslides. No mud. Mud what?
There was a mud flow that buried all of the first stories of
Yes.
civilization that was here on Earth. And
That was
they're now
Tartanian.
starting to dig down. Yeah, the Tartanian. They're starting to dig down in some of these major cities, and they're finding
Right.
2 or 3 stories below ground that was
Yeah,
there.
cities that are below the cities. And it's
Yes.
what was it? Tartarian, right, Terry?
Tartaria.
Tartarian civilization. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And the Rothschilds, they're now starting to say, actually were a part of covering up that
Yes.
Tartarian civilization. And so a lot of the stuff that we have come up with isn't really stuff that we have discovered in this day and age or our ancestors. It's from the Tartarian civilization that they already knew about. They had flying vehicles, they had super trains, they had all kinds of things. I wish I would have sent Chris some photographs of some of the things that the Tartarian civilization had. They had amazing stuff. Any of you, just look it up.
Looks
You'll
like
see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it looks like a combination of 18th centuries and Victorian and future all together. There's architecture.
I
mean, it's so
saw a
sophisticated.
picture. Did you send me a picture of one of the? I remember in one of the pictures, I think we see a different type of ruin in
Yeah, I
Mars.
think so.
I think that's. Let me go pull that up.
Hi,
I'm going to say hi to a couple of people on chat real quick. Moon is here. Cindy, Stargazer Cindy's one of my besties right there. She's back. And then who else? We had Ninos in the house, and we had Bud Files. So everybody, if you guys have questions for our guests, please put them in all upper and make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you like what you see, this is one of a series of 3. So today we're talking about UFOs, consciousness, and Dorothy Izatt. So continue, guys. I mean, you guys, I love how you came together, and we wound up on Mars quick, and I love that. What did you think about NASA's announcements on the whole? I mean, because basically in the last couple of weeks, they've said they have found proof of ancient life on Mars, which is something that I think everybody kind of thought, but NASA finally said something. And then right after, NASA becomes like a spy agency. That, they've kind of reset the thing on NASA. What do you guys think about that?
Okay, well, first, Elon Musk had a lot to do with that. He pushed that, really penetrated, and forced them to start exposing that stuff, because the more they expose it, it supports what he wants to do. He wants to be able to travel to Mars and maybe even set up a base camp there or something, So, I mean, that guy's, and a lot of people don't like him, but he's an incredible genius, what he's created. And everything he's done, of course, with you got $150 billion, there's not many limitations in this third dimension,
Right.
Well, Elon Musk has done so much, but of course, the fact that he is friends with Trump, or now he's kind of estranged, although I'm not really sure that's a true story, that he's really estranged. Elon Musk, his desire to get to Mars has been pushing NASA to kind of open up a little bit about what they've said. So I'm kind of looking forward to finding out a lot more about Mars. That kind of ties in with what Dorothy Izatt was saying about the light beings, and about how there is a group that watches over Earth, does not interfere, but watches from afar. She feels like the light beings are watchers, and that they are here to kind of, if we really go off the deep end, are here to guide us in the right direction. So what she talked about with me at great length was the fact that we have to watch our P's and Q's and try to stay enlightened. Because the more enlightened we are, the more light, we are light beings ourselves, actually, and Tom knows that, and you both know that. We're light beings. We're nothing but light. somebody posted something on X the other day. I said I found a very old picture of you, and it was nothing but a giant light that was really incredibly beautiful. So I know that if I let my vibration get low, that I have problems. So I constantly work on thinking positively, on keeping my vibration high. I'm not very successful most of the time, but if I keep my vibration high and if I'm feeling light and if I'm feeling positive, things go much, much better for me. But Dorothy talked about the light beings in that way, in that they really want us to enlighten ourselves and to raise our vibrations.
Yep.
Now, when I
actually have a clip of that when you're ready, Terry. I actually downloaded clips of Dorothy. So whenever you're ready, just cue me up. Keep going. Sorry.
You can pop them on whenever you want to, and I'll talk about them as we go if you want.
Yeah, I have a section. I think this is where she's talking. This is from Capturing the Light. I'm going to go ahead and pop it up, okay?
Great, go ahead. Do that.
She had mentioned that they had revealed certain information to her. And I said, oh, really? What information is that?
The reason they've appeared here is because they are worried, because they said mankind are getting very disruptive. They're worried about us because we all belong to the whole, and we are all connected that way to each other. And if we don't behave properly, we disrupt other beings, other places. Our earth only has a little skin around it to protect us. If we rent this veil between us and them, it'll cause terrific damage because we're either spill into their world or they'll spill into ours.
Oops, here we go, and we're back. Here we go.
The one quick shot there was Peter Gatillo.
For everybody at the beginning, he keeps talking about Peter Gatillo. That is him, and you'll see him in Capturing the Light.
Oh, and then Peter did sightings with me, so you'll see him on sightings. Peter's health has not been too great. Hopefully he'll get better, but he's been a little bit under the weather. So what happens, I was talking to Dorothy one night, and I said, Dorothy, what is this buzzing that I get in one or both of my ears? And what it actually feels like sometimes is like there is, all of a sudden in one of my ears, the pressure goes completely away from that one ear. And I'll have the normal pressure in my other ear, but I will have like no pressure in this ear. And it feels like I'm lopsided, which I'm lopsided anyway, but more lopsided than usual. And Dorothy said, you need to listen to that, to pay attention to that, because when that occurs, it lets you know that there is an entity of some kind, light being or other, that wants to communicate with you. Yes. And so whenever that happens, I grab my iPhone and I run outside, or the 35 millimeter, whichever, and run outside and start photographing the sky. And some of the stuff that I have sent you, Chris, that you have, are photographs that occurred when I did that, when I got that buzzing or tone. Now, I had my wife go to the keyboard and play whatever tone I was hearing. And the tone went anywhere from an A all the way to a G and a C and a D, all the tones in between. Now that thing that photograph that you just flashed, Chris, that is from one of the videotapes, of which Dorothy gave us about 10. I have all of them here now, and I'm digitalizing those. What I do is I run the video, and when I see a slight flash, then I run the video back and I inch it forward until I find a still, and then I photograph that with my 35 millimeter, and then I transfer that to my iPhone so I can send it out. That is from one. Now, what that frame that you showed is 1/18th of a second on an 8mm movie camera. No bleed over onto the surrounding frames. That is one frame. So is that one frame. And I've taken that off the video. Of what happens is they take the 8mm and then they freeze frame the 8mm and they videotape that, and then I have those videos showing what was on one single frame of the 8mm. And what you're seeing now are what I've taken off of the video and freeze framed it and then photographed it so I can then digitalize that and move it on. That, by the way, I need to explain that. That particular photograph was above a UFO, or light, if you wish, that a friend of mine, Nikki Noel, sent me. And I said, you know, there's something in that cloud above that. I just had a feeling that there was. Yes. And so I enlarged and enhanced, without changing anything, the cloud above the UFO. That is the picture that I got. I think that's rather interesting. But that's Nikki Noel.
All of these are fascinating. Sorry, go ahead, Terry.
Now, some of these, they're kind of mixed in, Chris. Some of these are ones that I have taken here in Kansas, believe it or not. And some of them are stuff that I've taken off of the videotapes that Dorothy Izatt sent us to use. Now, we were told, Dorothy gave us the videotapes, said you have carte blanche. We want you to tell the story of my life and what I've seen and what I've captured on film. You have carte blanche to use those videotapes however you see fit. So I'll have to explain as we go along, Chris. Some of those are things that I have actually captured on film here in Kansas, and some of them are stuff that I've taken off of the video. So as you show them, if you wish to do so,
I'm going to go ahead.
I can tell you.
I'm going to show them. I have a collection because it's you send me so many, and I've got we have some mixtures of Mars. There's the Mars one, right?
That is one that I took. Actually, I got that online, and that was taken of a structure on the far side of the moon, actually.
Oh, this is on the moon. Cool.
That's the
look at that.
Moon. And that was,
That's
of course,
wild.
we don't see the far side of the moon. So some of this stuff has been taken by the moon orbital cameras that are still orbiting the moon now, and they won't show you any of these things. They just refuse to show you. But if you look at
do you want me to show these or the Dorothy? Yeah. Do you want me to show these or do you want me to show the Dorothy ones? Where do you want me to go?
Go ahead. The Dorothy ones are probably better because we can kind of narrow it all down. There's so much Dorothy stuff that.
Oh, Dorothy.
There's Dorothy.
I love Dorothy. There's Dorothy.
Her house. That's a shot. That's Dorothy looking in the sky. That was at her house in right near Vancouver, British Columbia, when all of us went up there. That's a UFO that Dorothy captured on 8mm. That is like one frame. Some of them don't have to be one frame. That is one that I captured here in Kansas, by the way. That was over our practice field right across the street from me. I got that buzzing in my ear that Dorothy told me to pay attention to. So I grabbed my iPhone and I ran out and took a picture of where I thought it might be in the sky, and that's what I captured. So
I love this picture.
I do too.
Huh?
I said I love this picture of them together because I mean, you got along with him, right? You guys talked a lot with Alan J. Allen?
Yeah, well, see, Stanton Friedman introduced me to Alan Hynek, Peter Gatilla, a lot of different ones in the field. So I worked with and talked back and forth with Alan Hynek. I would call up and I would get his wife and his son Paul, who did the show Blue Book recently on TV. And Paul
he was one of my guests. I actually know Paul.
Well,
he's been a guest twice.
Well, that's great, because I used to get him on the phone, and I told him when I recontacted him, I said, I used to talk to these little kids all the time. He goes, yeah, that was me. Because I would call and talk to Alan all the time. That's one that I actually took here in the skies in Kansas.
That's awesome.
Is taken by Nikki. That's taken by Nikki Noel over
Nikki
the skies
Noel.
in Kansas City. Yes, we need to get her on the show, because she. Now that is Dorothy's granddaughter. That's Jamie.
That's Jamie. Yeah,
So,
I'm going to be reaching out to Jamie. I want to talk to her.
Well, yeah, I've got all of her information. So
Cool.
she wants to keep in touch, and she wants to do more, because she was actually the only one that believed Dorothy all the time this was all going on. Jamie Carew is the only one. Dorothy's granddaughter is the only one that really believed her all along. That's another one. I'm not sure. So I've got so many. I believe that was also Nikki Noel's Taken Above Kansas City. That's one of Dorothy's. That was taken off of her 8mm camera. That was a one frame. That's Jamie Carew's picture. Go back
This
to
one?
that little.
This one?
That's from
I
Jamie
love this
Carew. Yeah,
picture.
Jamie sent me that.
Oh, wow. That's pretty.
One of the beings that she actually will have to tell you more about it, but she was able to photograph that herself. So that's one of the little beings that she said she has. That, by the way, that's the one from Jamie. That picture there, Peter Gatilla and myself. I think Tom. I think you were there. We were doing the readings on that girl who was lost, and I think you were there. And what happens is that I will sensitize, and you can see that my sending hand is my right hand and my receiving hand is my left hand. So you can see the difference in the auras around the hands.
Yeah, right.
Sending and receiving. And all of those little orbs that you see are going out and some are coming in. So I'm sending out energy looking for this. I wanted information on this girl who was lost over in Nepal. And that's one of the. Peter Gatilla actually took that of me.
It's very cool.
I always thought that was Gatilla. I didn't realize that's you. That's awesome. I didn't realize that.
That's me. That's and whenever Peter Gatilla and myself and Tom and when all of us are together, there's such a synergy that occurs.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff we get when we're together. Isn't that cool?
That's awesome. That's an amazing picture. It's one of my favorites.
Now that right there is one frame of the 8mm, which they put on to the video, and then I did a still frame from the video on I go to my smart screen TV, my 55-inch screen, and then I take a photograph of what I've got on the video that I'm sending to my 55-inch smart screen, and that is a picture of the still frame I got from the video. Now, when I see a flash on the video, that's when I know something has occurred. So I'll see the flash, and then I will go back, and then I will run it slowly until I capture the still frame. That's another one from the video. Oh no!
I found this. What is this?
That is me on the left,
and
then a friend of ours from Palmdale in the middle, a young guy, and then that's Ron Bailey. You remember Ron Bailey, don't you, Tom?
Oh yeah, of course.
And Tom,
I don't know why I put that picture in the wrong place, but I like it. It's cool.
Is he still alive?
Well, that was when we were out. I don't know. I would imagine so. The last time, I mean, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not that much older than us, you know. Look at
Yeah.
me. I can't get over me. Now,
I love that
is
picture.
a really interesting picture. The picture of the hands is
This
one
picture.
of the best things. Now, what they would allow Dorothy to do is bring her little tiny Kodak camera onto the UFO when they actually took her on board. So they took her on board, and she would take pictures of things that she saw on board the alien craft. That is a picture of the hands of one of the aliens. You want to call them light beings, for lack of a better word. But there is actually a difference, according to Dorothy, between the actual light beings that we see that create the light that flashes all over the sky and the actual solid craft that we see as well. So there are the beings that pilot the craft that are solid, and then there are the light beings which are more angelic that Dorothy describes as being angelic. Now go ahead.
Sorry,
you were going to say something. Go ahead.
I'm not.
Anyway,
Sati were you going to say something, Sati?
No, I was just like, I totally agree with everything that you're saying, Terry, because I've been experiencing the same things. And so it's pretty cool because everything you and Tom are sharing is in complete alignment with my own experiences in my own life. So this is great for me. I'm enjoying it. Please continue.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad that I can get some validation from something other than Dorothy and from my own experiences. And of course, Tom knows all of this. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Tom is totally aware of everything. You know, he's been involved in this stuff as well. Now, that right there, one night Dorothy was out looking at a UFO, and she saw this UFO, a solid craft, and she asked, "Are you the light beings?" "Well, no, we're not." And she says, "Well, can you, I really can't see very well, can you lighten up in the interior of the craft so I will be able to see what you look like?" So they lit up the interior of the craft a little bit. Now, this has been pirated, and so you have probably seen this elsewhere, but this is Dorothy's photograph that she took of the beings that were in this solid craft that was a disc-shaped craft. And so when you see that elsewhere, just know that that was Dorothy's that she took, and that's also in the book, but it's not in color. That's why we want to do another book that will show all of the stuff that Chris now has, and you'll be able to see tonight in color. And that nobody has seen that unless you've been looking at my X account. That is a photograph that was taken by 35 millimeter camera. I work with frequencies. I have a frequency machine, a frequency generator, which generates any frequency I want, any kilohertz, any hertz I want. And what I do is I hook that into my large PV guitar amplifier, which is about a 15-inch chrome cone speaker. And then I run that generator through that speaker. And when we're in an area that is known to be active, we get this kind of thing. Now, without the generator on, I get nothing, just a clear black sky. The minute I turn the generator on, this is what I capture. So that is caused by the frequency generator being on and running.
So Terry,
the next picture, yeah.
Can I just ask a question? Is it the Schumann frequency generator that you're using?
Which frequency generator?
I'll show you. I just held it up. I have 2 of them, and they also
yes,
are.
I've seen those.
Yes,
I like the looks of those.
And you
That's
can
a little
program it. You can do whatever frequency you want, and it really changes things up. And depending on what my setting is, I can feel and see the energy of the orbs and the beings a lot more clearly when it's on specific frequencies. So that's what I was just asking, if it was similar to that.
You and I agree. The only thing is that I have the generator that I have is a generator that I can show you if I haven't. I've got it right here, but it's in the other room. I carry it in an anvil case, and it's about 2 feet by 2 feet, and it has. I can get any frequency I want from 0 to 35,000 kilohertz. So then what I do is I hook that into my large guitar amplifier, which has a 15-inch chrome cone. So that thing will blast your ears out. What that does is that sensitizes the entire area that we're in. And so this particular night we were at, Tom, you know where we were? We were at Big Rock Campground. And Big Rock Campground has been known for Bigfoot sightings, for UFO sightings, for all kinds of strange things. And so when I turn the generator on, as opposed to when I don't have it on, these orbs, among other things, are what I get. If you run forward, Chris, to another couple one, well, I can tell you what this is right now.
I love that one.
This is what Dorothy calls her lady in white. If you notice behind the lady, who is in the middle, if you notice behind the lady, there are little, what appear to be children. And then in front are what appear to be children that are a little bit lighter colored in the photograph. Well, the ones behind her are waiting to be shown the light. The ones in front of her have already been shown the light, and they are on the way into the light. So,
and this is still one frame, right?
That particular one we had to take off of one frame of the 8mm, which was rather
wild.
interesting to do. And you don't even know it's there if you're just running the film. You don't even realize that there's something there until you see a flash and you say, wait, there must have been something. So you have to back it up and go back and forth on the film editor and this is what you come up with when you slow it down and when you stop it completely.
That's the one we saw.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's
that this is a 1/18. This is the one we already saw that you called out the cloud. I want to play this clip. I do have the clip of this. If you guys want to see that, I have a couple of clips. Yeah.
Now this is I actually took that out of the off of the video, the film that Frank Longo made about Dorothy, capturing the light. And I knew that was there because we had not seen that until we started looking at the footage down in Los Angeles, and we're running through, we're editing, and we're looking at it, and all of a sudden somebody goes, "What in the heck is that?" So we ran it back and slowed it down, and here is this beautiful little UFO behind Dorothy's daughter, who was talking to us about Dorothy and about how they weren't totally, in tune with what Dorothy was doing. But this is what she got behind her in the window as it went by. It actually kind of stopped there, like it was checking her out,
Yeah,
So I stopped
because I want to get. I have the video. It's just 50 seconds. Can I play it real quick?
Yeah, play it.
I want you to talk to us about it. Yeah, let me go ahead and play it. Here we go.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, this should be interesting.
And then she said, we saw one light came, 2, 3.
And then all of a sudden, 3 lights, like round balls, 2 littler ones, 1 big one, came in, and it just sort of pulsated a bit. Mom put her camera down. She says, okay, I've got enough. It's getting kind of cold out here. I'm going in. And in she went. I'm standing on that deck thinking, okay, did I really see this? I mean, my hair's up on my arm and I'm thinking, okay, I wasn't hallucinating. I didn't have any wine with dinner. What's going on? And I mean, you have to believe when you see that. What do you do?
That is, that one, when it goes like, I mean, it's so obvious when it like crosses over right before the end of that clip. And she's talking about this and nobody has noticed that this is happening, right?
Right. Nobody noticed that it was there. You know, when we were filming up there, we had no idea. Then we get down to Los Angeles and we're looking at the footage and we're going, wait, what was that? So we run it back. And then what I did was, on capturing the light, I went ahead and ran the video for myself, and then I captured that still frame that I sent you, so you have that still frame. But I've also you've got the clip, but I had the still frame. And if you take that still frame and you enhance it and enlarge it, that craft that's behind her becomes very interesting. You need to see that enlarged. Yeah, you need to enlarge that. So you'll have a chance. Yeah, enlarge it and work with the contrast, and you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that offline, but yeah, because it's. Well, I mean, that one scene it shows red. It like pops up. You could actually see it just kind of pop up red. So that'd be really interesting to see that part.
Yeah, that was one of the most. And if you notice during capturing the light, the family's watching this, right? Seeing it the first time, and they see this, and the whole family just goes, pardon my language, holy crap. Like, what was that? So then the son went out and went looking for what this light may have been, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there that could have caused that. So
well, didn't he walk up like this? Yeah, he walked up like a hill or something, didn't he? Like across from Dorothy's home. And he went pretty significantly far up to try and find what it was. And there was nothing that could explain it, right?
Mm.
Yeah, the son went looking, drove way out there, and there was nothing behind the house. It's all just level ground, basically, because they're they're a long way from the coast. So it's rather interesting. I can't wait till we get to some of the stuff that shows the ocean and some of that stuff from Dorothy's. And by the way, when you get to that, Dorothy lives way inland. There is no ocean in her backyard. So
I'm trying to figure out.
I think that little.
I'm going to scroll through all your pictures to make sure I have the right pictures, because I think I have every single picture you send me. It's just a question of where I put it. So there's one more thing I want to show from the show. Go ahead, Terry. Sorry.
I know that I told you. I knew I was pulling up. I've got so many. I've got probably 500 more pictures than I sent you, that I have myself, that I got from the videos. But I knew that I knew we were going to have some picture description issues. That's why I said, if I can see them on screen as we're going, I can tell you what they are and be able to describe them. So that's probably the easiest way to do it.
I also do want to, we want to cover the rest of Dorothy Izatt, but I do want to hear about your own, all of you guys' own experiences, also with Tom. But I want to show this. You were talking about the beings, that one picture that had the actual beings. Is this, I got this from capturing the light. Let me show you, 23 seconds.
And sometimes I'll see, depends on which way to turn the craft. And if they want you to see them, they will appear. Either on a small little window and looking out of windows.
It's
and what
they went out every night and did this. It's wild. Go ahead, Terry. Mm-hmm.
What is really fun, when we got the still photographs of a lot, I've got the lady in white. I've got the one of the ocean scene that with the thing that looks like Loch Ness monster in it. Looks like a beach scene. And what Dorothy explained is that these photographs that you have are going to continue enhancing. So I'm like, okay, that sounds great. Well, the photograph that I have of the lady in white and the photograph I have of the beach scene have all gotten much sharper and much more distinct than when we first got them. And they are just still photographs. So she was very
and
right.
so she was right. She said it, that they would get sharper.
She was totally right. And what would happen is that Dorothy would be laying in bed and they would show her entire ceiling above her would become like a giant movie screen. And they would show her things that have happened in the past, things that are upcoming, even though it's always changeable. The future is never set in stone. They would show her things that happened in the past and how we are all interconnected with what's going on in the universe, where we're all, I mean, being light beings ourselves, we are all infringing on each other's lights all the time. That's when you're around people. You either get along with them or you don't get along with them almost immediately, you know.
You get that vibe.
Right. Our vibe, and if you want to call it vibe, that's what I used to call it. I still call it, but it's our light and our frequency that overlap, and that's what causes us to either get along really well and totally like someone immediately, or just totally something's wrong with that person. But we never understood what it was until you start learning about frequencies, about vibrations, about what goes on in the human being having to do with frequency and light and interaction. Because Dorothy had it hit the nail right on the head. You know, we interact with each other and our frequencies intermingle, and that's how we all commingle. That's how we all get along together. So
energy, frequency, and vibration, and that's what we all are. We are all energy,
and that's
all frequency.
That's what Tess.
If I could interject something.
Please get in here.
Exactly like Terry's saying, you know, we have 7 basic chakras, energy centers in the body that tie into all our organs, our magnetic field, our different meridians. We have the lower root chakras to our higher crown chakras. There's even chakras in our outer or 2, up to 10, they say. So, like Terry's saying, like when we connect with a person, it depends what chakra vibration I'm vibrating at and what chakra he's vibrating at. And that, if it's a sync, like attracts like, we have a rapport with that person at that consciousness level. So there's a lot of people that connect, maybe just, you know, young people connect lower chakras, physical, sexual, intimate chakras, but they don't have the upper yet, hasn't been developed and not opening up that much. But then there's some people who develop the upper but have a connection with the upper chakras with another person, but not the lower, you know, and that could be on a friendship basis or whatever, where you don't have the physical sexual stuff. So just like Terry's saying, it's that mesh, how everything goes together. And you think about love. What is love? What is the connection? To me, my opinion is like love is relative. You have low level conditioned love and you have unconditional love and everything in between. So how do we connect with what chakras at what level of love with a person? And then each chakra, as Terry's an expert too, vibrates at a certain level and a certain color. So like root chakra, red, they represent a certain color. They could be like a light pink to a dark red. You know, throat chakra, like a blue, from a sky blue to a dark blue. Everyone varies. Indigo, you know, burgundy, all that stuff, it varies depending, and that all represents a certain consciousness level, mentality level. If you put them all together, that's what creates our aura. and what color that is, what all these colors intermingle. And then if you look at some people very, very down and very negative and depressed, their auras are very brown and a dark yellow, you know, because it's the lower level vibration of that chakra. So it all fits together that way, like Terry's saying.
And this is something you've actually dedicated so much time to, right, Tom? Like, I mean, you actually focus on the training that goes to preparing. So tell us a little bit about that. And I'm gonna go.
Okay, well, to think of it this way,
bounce between the two of you.
In karate, martial arts, worst opponent is ourself, right? I mean, we got to face our weaknesses, fears, insecurities, mental blocks, inhibitions, whatever. And as we've faced those, and when we face an opponent at different levels, depends what level, what mentality they are, and of course, what technical level. So, what your strengths has to go with their weaknesses, what you attempt, how that balances, and what kind of rapport you have with opponent. Okay, how do you find that? Intuition. We have the old saying, eyes are the lamps of the soul. You can look at a person's eyes and you see their consciousness, their mentality, their strengths, their weaknesses, their fears, everything, if you're intuitive enough. But to do that, you have to be a clear channel yourself. If you're thinking about yourself or looking at their hands or what technique they're going to do, that blocks you. You have to be a total channel, and then you can pick up exactly what they're sending. If you've got some outside influence or internal influence, or even a thought, like when I attack, I don't think I'm going to attack now. I think I already attacked. It's a surprise to me when I attack because everything becomes subconscious at a later level, So, and then, all the bodyguarding I've done, always watching people's eyes. And as far as karate, I probably faced a million opponents looking in people's eyes all the time and try to sense their mentality, their aura, their strengths, their weaknesses. And then sometimes our strengths can be our weakness. Sometimes our weakness can be our strength. There's a famous general, Saigo, I think, samurai, who made a statement is far greater to eliminate one weakness than it is to add one strength. Because if, our ego, we got to get stronger, that in a crisis situation, our mentality conscious is going to break at the weakest link. So that's pretty much from my experience, and then I try to use that like Terry too, our intuition to find out, deeper insights into all this unexplained phenomena as well, and tune in to aliens and tune into creatures and cryptids and Bigfoot or whatever.
And Terry, you follow the same. Yeah. What do you, contrast with what things you do?
That's what I mean. Tom is so knowledgeable. I mean, if you just sat and talked with Tom for an hour, you'd walk away a much wiser person. And
thank you.
Yeah, well, that's true, Tom. I mean, I think that's why you and I have always hit it off. We always just kind of meld together. We don't do a lot of physical back and forth and a lot of talking back and forth. We just kind of are there together.
Yeah,
it kind of works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we learn from each other.
I gotta tell this story real quick.
Okay.
About Tom. This is kind of how Tom, his mental ability to endure. Okay, we were all camping on a Bigfoot expedition one time, and Peter Gatilla and myself and Peter's wife Lizita and a couple of the other people were in a rather large tent. Tom was sleeping on the floor, and it was kind of crowded, so Tom was like right next to Peter's bunk. So Tom is like laying there, and Peter goes. Now this was on toward the morning, right?
Sure.
So Peter is laying there, and he goes, I've got to excuse myself and work my way through. I've got to run out for a bathroom break. And Tom goes, "That's great, but," and Peter had mentioned to me that when he got back, he had stepped on something warm and fuzzy. He couldn't figure out what it was. So Tom's laying there. Peter gets ready to go out to the bathroom break, and Tom goes, "That sounds great, but this time can you not step on my face?"
Yeah.
And just as calm as could be, not raising his voice or anything. And it was like, oh
Don't
my God,
step on
we all
me.
just we laughed so hard that I think the tent
Yeah.
inflated a little bit when we were laughing. Yeah, Tom is just so laid back and able to handle about anything.
Well,
Anything.
let me interject one thing, Chris, with, as a martial artist and a warrior mentality, most people go manic depressive, up and down all the time with their states, their emotional ability, whatever. And as soon as you do that, if I could get my opponent emotional, I feel like I already got him. That's a
You won.
weakness because
Yeah.
he's just channeling his emotion. What is anger is the best to face somebody. They make him temporarily stronger, but you can disarm that so fast. But if your mind's solid and strong and mindset and indomitable mentality, nothing changes it. Where you want your mind to control your body, not your body and emotions to control your mind. So, I've always tried to push myself to be able to do that. So with a crisis situation, life and death situation, it's heaven's will. Whatever's decided is going to happen anyway. So why get excited, emotional about it? I mean, there's times to get excited, emotional, and everything too. But and if facing a crisis situation, it's better to have a strong, solid core mentality where it doesn't waver. And you make your opponent waver. You make them insecure.
Yeah, they sweat it out if you can do that, for sure.
Yes.
I love it.
It's all a game of the mind, isn't it? Right, Terry?
Yes. Yes.
I
mean,
Tom has got.
go ahead.
I wish I could be around Tom 24/7 because he's just a real stabling influence on all of us that
Very
do
calming.
research, on Peter, on myself, and when we're out doing this stuff, what we do. I'll kind of get into your question a little bit, Chris. What we do when we're out and wanting to communicate with whatever may be around us, whether it be UFO, Sasquatch, whatever the case, we all go into a very calm state. You have to see a gray screen behind your eyes, basically. Tom knows what I mean. You have to disengage from the conscious mind and allow yourself to go into a subconscious state where you're not controlling your conscious thoughts, where you're able to just be in that state of receiving, that state of listening,
allowance,
and you're able to and you're able to allow whatever it is out there to communicate with you on whatever level. Now, that one, I sent a sightings episode to you, Chris. It's the contact one where we actually introduced Dorothy Izatt. I can kind of say a little bit about this here. When I talked with Dorothy Izatt for about 6 months on the phone. She didn't really want to go too public because she was doing what she was doing up around Vancouver, and there had been a few articles in the newspaper about her. And what she was concerned about was if she went too major public, there would be kind of a backlash, and she wasn't sure she was ready for that. Well, so I talked with her for 3 to 6 months, almost every night for like 5 hours on the phone. And she finally said, look, I'll go ahead and do the episode. So we sent Andrea Matsky and John Tyndall. Actually, we sent Andrea Matsky up to Vancouver from our staff at Sightings, and she did the interview with Dorothy up there in Vancouver. And then we interspersed the interview with some of the footage and stuff that we had gotten from Dorothy. But we, in that episode, we brought a little bit to the public about what we do. Now, you know that they're talking about mentally, like psionics, they're talking about mentally communicating with UFOs. Now that's a big new thing, right? Peter and I were doing this in 1970, and it's on that Contact Sightings episode where we did the psionics, we used the laser beams, all of that stuff that they came around later to using. Well, it's already on that show that we did in like 91 or 2 or 3, I don't know, whatever year we did that. So, and that was in the Anza episode, where there was a thing that rose over Mount Cahuilla every night. The people would actually pull their lawn chairs out in their front yards or backyards in Anza, and they would watch Goldie rise over Mount Cahuilla. And so we thought, well, we need to go down and get this on film. So we started doing a lot of interviews with some of the people that were local. There was one lady who was a newspaper writer. I'm trying to think of her name right now. Anyway, Cindy something. Anyway, we went down and met with all of them. At that time, there wasn't an Anza Paranormal. Now there is, and we just did a show recently called Shadows in the Desert with a group that I found down there called Anza Paranormal. A guy named Roland was kind of the head of that. And Roland has since moved. He's up in Idaho. And we keep in touch all the time because we really hit it off. But we went to Roland's home, and then we filmed this Shadows in the Desert there. And we showed Mount Cahuilla, and we talked to a lot of the witnesses. There have been Bigfoot sightings. There have been light beam type sightings all over Anza. So that kind of ties in with what we have been doing all along in mentally communicating with these entities or beings, whatever you want to call them. I think light beings is probably the best term to use for the time being, because we're all light beings anyway. So why buck the system, you know? Here we are, light beings, talking to our friend light beings. Anyway.
Well, but Dorothy said it, right? Dorothy differentiated the light, like the light that was talking to her, those flashes that were like buzzing her ear, being light beings versus the physical, right? I mean, it's like two totally different.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, the light beings are more angelic, and they are more total light, and they come and go as light. But then there are the physical craft, because Dorothy was doing an interview with someone one time. I think a young man had come down, which, by the way, I didn't know about this before I had asked her about the buzzing in my ears. This young man had come down to ask her about some of the stuff that she was experiencing, and he asked her at that time, "What's with this buzzing in my ear?" And she explained to him, "Well, that's because they're trying to contact you." And this was long before I ever asked her on the phone what this was. So what happens is that the light beings will let you know they're there, and if you want to see them, then you can actually go out and look into the sky, and you will more than likely see something, especially if you're using a camera. This guy said, "Well, I want to see the physical things," and said, "Okay, let me have the light beings bring them." So the light beings actually brought a physical craft so he could see the physical craft, which is what we commonly refer to as UFOs or UAPs this day and age. So there is definitely a difference between the UFO and the light beings that Dorothy was communicating with and photographing all the time. But she has both. She photographed both.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some pretty interesting ones of the physical craft. I swear, the one that I took one night, I got this buzzing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I grabbed my iPhone and I ran outside and I'm looking all over the sky. I didn't see anything. So finally I said, what in the heck's going on? I looked across the street about 100 yards away from me at our football practice field, and there was this incredible craft sitting there. I swear, when I first saw it, I think, oh my gosh, the Enterprise has come to visit. And it literally looked like the Starship Enterprise. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I got the camera out. Now I thought, when this all started, I went outside and I thought, well, you know, I'll stay out here and film whatever I can. So I started filming this thing. I filmed it and I had the camera on it. And I thought, well, I've been out here, and all of a sudden it just went and was gone. I literally saw it go the first few 100 feet, and then it just was so fast that I couldn't keep track of it. It literally disappeared from vision within a second, maybe. It started out, there was like 1, 2, and so I went in the house thinking, well, that was very interesting. You know, I was probably out there 2 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The clock had moved almost half an hour. So I had close to half an hour. I had close to half an hour of missing time. And it seemed like 2 minutes to me.
Right.
Now, I don't know what happened during that time, but I definitely was out there because the clock had physically moved. So anyway, you've got that. That's one of the photographs that I sent you, Chris. You've got it there somewhere.
I'm gonna keep looking for this.
You know,
it looks kind of like Starship Enterprise, black and
Chris,
white. By the way, Tom, what?
Excuse me. What I'd like to recap, what Terry's saying, we have to look at a bigger picture here. A lot of people think, oh, UFOs, there's just grays. They just think there's just one species. No, there are so many alien species from our research coming here. I mean, you know, I've heard one figure, 31 alien species. Then the top, I heard some ex-Air Force guy said who studied it, who retired, there was 71 species. And all, you know, this Earth is a special place to come because third physical dimension, and they're coming here, whether they're, you know, monitoring us, guiding us, and they're, you know, Anunnaki and the UFOs been so interconnected with the human race for hundreds of thousands of years. And here's what's interesting, you know, there's many different levels of the mentality, consciousness of these aliens. Like Terry says, some of the highest level, they're light beings. They're almost like angels in a way. But then there's the whole range, all the way to the lower range, like reptilians, which we've all heard of them, and then grays, which can be more like clones or robots or AI stuff, and then the tall whites, and there's so many different kinds coming here. And another thing interesting, what I've heard, like a few different reasons why they don't make direct contact and direct influence, because supposedly, like universal law, God's law, we on this dimension, we still have to have a certain amount of free will, and they can't interact directly. They can be like a salesman or car salesman or a con artist, or show something or try to influence us externally that way, positive or negative, depending what their consciousness level is. And you can see that covered. They're almost like humans, low level mentality to high level mentality too. So because we still have a certain amount of free will, so we can pick right, wrong, you know, positive, negative, like out of the Bible, or pick God, Satan, whatever. We got to have that free will, even though most people are focused by habit and their subconscious mind anyway. And they have a lot of people have very little free will because they can't break away from that habitual program that we have. But
Matrix.
like the UFOs and aliens, they can't influence directly. What I've heard, and it makes sense like that.
Well,
Why they stay in a distance. Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly what Dorothy always said, is that they are watchers. She
Yes.
actually used the term watchers, which the Anunnaki have been referred to as before.
Yes.
She actually said that they are like watchers, and they watch what we do, but they can't. It's like the non-interference clause on Star Trek. You can't interfere with the development of a civilization, but you can pay attention to it, and if it's going too far off, you might be able to give them little hints along the way somehow to put them back on course, even though, I don't know about you, but it seems to me like we've gotten way off course here lately.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there is so much low-level energy going on. It's really frightening. And wow.
Let me interject something. What's interesting, maybe you guys read it. There's a book called Power versus Force by Dr. David Hatfield, quantum physics guy. And he put Hertz cycles and conscious level, he tried to put the whole human race on a scale from 0 to 1,000. And like 1,000 with God conscious, Christ, Jesus mentality. And 200 and below was hatred, jealousy, anger, selfishness, power hungry, that kind of stuff. And unconditional love was maybe 500. And then he did a test, electromagnetic test of, we all go up and down, but generally speaking, and I think late 1980s, the consciousness level was 186 of the planet, average. Wow. But what's interesting? A few years later,
surprised.
Yeah, a few years later, I think 7 planets aligned, and it popped up to 206. So it shows how external influence energies from a planet, solar, everything can influence us, really, up to a certain point. But then you can imagine what it is now. Maybe it's 3 right now. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what it feels like right now. Like we're just fighting a losing battle.
Yeah, but
throwing positivity into this.
Another point, what was interesting, they felt like one human being on a planet that was 1,000 can pull up the rest of the human race.
Yes.
And they said like 750 was avatars, which there's like 12. Those 12, if we didn't have the 1,000 one, those 12 could hold the human race, So it's very interesting. A lot ties into biblical stuff, Christ, Jesus, everything that would,
Yes.
Yeah, very much.
Well,
I've been reading the Bible a lot lately because I'm like, this is wild to compare the symbology. Sorry, Terry.
Right.
Well, if you listen to Jesus's teachings, if you listen to any of the great masters, they all talk about the light.
Yes.
Jesus says, walk in the light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. All of those songs, all of the scripture, everything is talking about walking in the light.
Right.
And Jesus knew all this.
Yes.
He was just saying it. Nobody knew at the time what you should do. Nobody knew that you were supposed to be walking in the light. None of the pharaohs, nobody knew this. They were all really earthly, all into the sexual aspect and the gold and all of the riches and owning this and owning that and the physical, the tombs and all of the, of course, I really think that the pyramids have a far greater purpose than just tombs. They've never found a body in any of the pyramids on the Giza Plateau.
No.
They've never found a body. So what does that tell you? And then there have been
portals.
There are yes. Well, portals and energy.
Yes.
I think that if you read any there's a guy who has written a lot about the pyramid energy, and if you look at various things that he has in his books, and I've tried it myself, you can actually mummify a small dead animal if you put it under a pyramid.
Right.
Okay. So instead of it rotting, it will mummify.
Yes.
So pyramids had something to do with keeping the body mummified, even though the mummies were not all put inside pyramids. But I know for a fact that pyramid energy. And well, Tom, don't you still sleep under a pyramid?
Yes. I mean, I slept in a pyramid for 5 years, and all it is the frame, aluminum too, and you got it's copper. It's got to be a copper material, and it's got to be the same dimensions like the pyramid. Like the sides are 5% less than the base, and then oriented true north. And who came up with all this was Nikola Tesla, first of all, related to the pyramids. And he knew it was something else. And there's all kinds of theories. For example, like the Nile used to run right up to the big pyramid, and a couple of them. And the theory is that there was a canal under the pyramid, and they had a way they could magnetize granite. So when the water would go under the pyramid, it would granite would magnetize it, create negative ions. Then up to the queen chamber, they had a way they could combine oxygen and hydrogen, and had a way to spark that, add a spark to it. There's a theory that they even used the Ark of Covenant, because the main sarcophagus out of black granite, which you can't find black granite anywhere on the planet, was the same size as the Ark of Covenant in there. That could have been a generator that sparked it up, and it could create electricity and go out to the apex. They said the apex, most of the pyramid was pure quartz crystal. 70% of the planet's quartz crystal, and that would go out to the obelisk like an antenna. And that was originally what Nikola Tesla came up with, But that's only one purpose. It had many different purposes, I was in the pyramids in '95 and went in the main pyramid in a sarcophagus. And yeah, I mean, you can't fit a body. It's not big enough that way. And but it's the sound, the vibration is so low, like a low pitch generator. Very low like that. And I had a vision of like monks in there with brown hoods and everything, when I was in there. And yeah, it was a great experience. Really interesting,
That's awesome. That's very cool.
Are you guys
Tom.
hearing Tom all the way? Tom's cutting out on me. Is he cutting out on your end?
No,
we can hear him. It might be your signal. We can hear you also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear us okay, Terry?
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Hearing you fine, but Tom is cutting out, and so I don't know. I didn't know if that was going to show up on your video or not.
No, he sounds good on my side at least.
Me too.
Let us know. Chat, let us know if we have any audio issues.
Chris, one more point to back up at the beginning of the show. When Terry brought up, remote vision, remote viewing, when we were working with Dr. Spurney, Professor Spurney, in those days we called it psychometry, like reading energy.
Yeah.
And then a modern term which came from the military group, they had through the intelligence department, they had a thing that was called Stargate, I believe it was. And they were using a lot of sensitive people, training them to pick up on Russia's missile bases, do readings on different countries. And that's where remote viewing came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you had John Alexander help put off all those guys from Project Stargate. And the question is, where has that gone? It's like, how did it go under even further after whatever they were doing? Because they've been doing that since forever.
forever.
Yes. Yes.
And it's all documented. It's like, but
Yes.
people don't realize the power of the mind is so real. It is so real, and it's like our ancient civilizations had the playbook, and
Yes.
that got taken away from us for whatever reason. So,
Well, because I believe it's because they were being assisted by other beings, and that's why it was taken away.
Yes. Another point. I mean, there's things on record, like you're saying, Chris, with Eisenhower, I believe. There was like 5 or 6 hours that isn't documented. And supposedly he went to Wright Air Force Base or Patterson Base and
Edwards Air Force Base.
had a negotiation with the Greys.
Yes.
And what their negotiation was is that they wanted to be able to abduct certain people, astrally, astral bodies, and some physically that way, to do chromosomes, genes, and to develop hybrids and stuff. So the negotiators said, okay, you give us your technology and you can have that. So that's why a lot of abductions were very discreet in a way and covered up. And the military would try to cover up. And then the whole theory with Men in Black and all that stuff, they try to keep it suppressed so many years. But, they say like the government and technology wise can be 60, 70 years ahead of us civilians,
Yeah, agreed.
I believe he was in Palm Springs, and they took him up to Edwards Air Force Base. He was missing for quite some time. His granddaughter talks about that.
Laura,
His granddaughter
Laura
talks about him doing that. Huh?
Laura Eisenhower. She talks.
You've talked to her, right?
I have. Yeah, she's incredible, and she's carrying on that legacy for people to know and understand what President Eisenhower actually saw, the things that he experienced and everything. And I love that Laura, his granddaughter, is bringing all of that to the table, because everybody needs to hear it. People have been lied to way too long, and it's time to bring it all out in the open and be real with people.
Right.
You bring up something that I might want to talk about for just a little bit right now. I don't know if you are aware, this is all documented. I had my secret clearance, and they were working on bringing it up higher to a higher crypto level. And at the time when I first began, I was carrying documents all over the place. I was carrying classified documents to all kinds of military bases, Air Force bases, naval vessels. I would go to San Diego. I would go everywhere. And as radical as it seems, one of my stops was Area 51. At that, it was Groom Lake at the time. It was part of the Air Force Base. And so I would have to go there, and I would try to get in and out as quickly as possible, because if I didn't get in and out really quickly, they would keep us locked down while they were doing experiments on the runway in the cafeteria, and I would have to stay there for 2 hours, and I wouldn't be able to get away. But one thing that happened there are a couple of different things that are going on. It was my job, after I moved up to a different stage in my employment, it was my job then to analyze footage that I was getting from NASA, I was getting from JPL, I was getting from ocean-going vessels. Let me see. Hang on 1 second. Elaine brought my generator. This is my frequency generator.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Very awesome.
It's not plugged in, so you can't see the variations in the frequencies that I'm able to get. But that is one part of it. Hand me the other little booster, Elaine. It's got a booster.
I'm going to put Terry right here. There we go.
Thank you, Elaine.
Show and tell. Thanks, Elaine.
Thank you, Elaine.
Elaine, the girls say thank you. Let me have that. Just hand it to me. This is what they call a stereo booster, and what this does is it boosts it out to various other. If I wanted to use an entire setup this is the little stereo booster that
Okay.
is with it. And you
Cool.
add that, and that adds another level of sophistication to the frequency. And what I'm able to do with this, I actually built a small frequency generator right here.
Oh, wow, that's
So
cool.
I can use this.
Wow.
I built this with Radio Shack parts.
Of course
This
you
is a little
did.
Radio Shack box, Radio Shack Swiss. I don't know if you can hear it.
Yeah.
You hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 5.7 kilohertz. That
Okay.
is the frequency for gold.
Okay.
All I have to do is turn this on, that little tiny sound, that little speaker there, and that broadcasts a 5.7 kilohertz, and I can detect a micron piece of gold infinitely.
Wow.
So you have to be careful if you're using, and what, as weird as it sounds, I can use a magnetometer or I can use my dowsing rods. My dowsing rods I'm very good with, and I can, when I walk between this little box and the gold, my dowsing rods cross.
Yes.
The minute I walk
Oh,
away
wow.
from that line, they open.
So Terry, I just
Yes.
wanted to share, I use dowsing rods here on the property. So I'm on a 10-acre property in Tennessee, and I have
Oh,
some
wow.
massive energy portals on this property that the dowsing rods will be straight. And then when I turn to one of the very high vibrational portal pockets on the property, it just goes woo, like the dowsing rods just spin right around. So we've caught so many things on our game cameras. It is incredible, the things that have come up on the game cameras in those spots.
Well, you're getting, part of what you're getting is a total energy that is going to give you the swirling rods. Now, what I do with this little signal,
yeah,
yeah, with this little signal, that's only 5.7 kilohertz. In other words,
right.
What this allows me to do is discriminate. So I cut out all of the other frequencies for this 5.7 kilohertz. That then allows me to isolate the gold. So I can find the gold only. I'm not getting just any frequency. I'm getting the gold only. So what would be interesting for you to do, take your little device that you have, your frequency generator, and set that to a frequency, go out to one of these areas and note what the frequency is, and then see if you get the rods crossing between the area that you're looking at and the little generator. I'd be interested to see if you can narrow down the frequency you're getting instead of it just being random and getting the spinning, which is what you're getting. So
well, sometimes, like when I get right into that big energy pocket, they'll go right around. But as I'm walking toward it, they just start moving in and then they'll cross, right? And then as I turn away from it, they uncross and come back out again. But there's 3 different pockets I've found, and one of them is by the fairy tree on the property where all the wild animals eat. And we've actually caught fairies coming out of the tree on the game cameras. And like one of the areas too, there's going to be a teepee put there because it's so high. Oh, you can't hear? Am I cutting out for you guys too?
I can hear you fine.
Terry's having an issue. I think you're having an issue with your audio.
I can hear everybody fine.
I'm having a problem with your audio. So what I did manage to glean from what you said initially, what happens with my device to a line between the gold and the machine and the generator, okay? When I get to that line, the rods will cross immediately.
Right.
Now, when I walk off the line, the rods will push apart.
Right.
Physically push apart.
Yes.
So that means I'm not there over that line anymore. Now, what happens if I go down the line? As I walk away, as far deep as the gold is in the ground, and as far away as I get, say if I get 3 feet away, and the rods push apart, I know that the gold is 3 feet deep.
Right.
I also know, based upon my experimentation with different sizes of gold, that I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will know exactly what size gold it is. I will know exactly how deep it is in the ground, and I will know exactly, where it is on the line. So I can actually, if I want to go 3 feet deep, I can dig 3 feet deep to find a micron size of gold. But if I want to find, if I find that it pushes apart slower, then I've got a larger piece of gold, and it might be worth going 3 feet deep. So that's what you're probably getting when you're starting to get to the area. It's starting to energize and starting to pull toward each other to cross. And then when you get right in there, you've got so much going on that your rods are spinning.
Yes.
And I bet as you walk away, they open up again.
Open up. Yes,
Don't
that's
they?
exactly. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but when they push apart on me, they literally push apart.
Oh, mine too. Like it's like strong. It's almost like somebody's taking it and going whoosh, because it's such. Yes, that's what happens for me. Yeah, it's very cool.
It's interesting how this. I didn't know much about dowsing rods, but we were working on our gold property up in Southern California. We had a ranch, a 265-acre ranch. I don't know, Tom. I think you were not around with me right at that time, but we had a ranch up in the Palmdale, Lancaster area, and out in the desert there, out toward I'm trying to think, if you went up toward Big Bear. Then back in that part of the country, we had a 265-acre ranch that had gold on it in the past, and so we wanted to get a well dug so we have water to work with. We had like a 7-foot trommel. We had like a 30-foot conveyor belt. We had all this equipment up there at the ranch. Anyway, the first time I ever tried dowsing was to find this water.
Right.
And bang, the rods crossed. Just wow. And so I said, "What? There's got to be strong water." So as I walked away, they started to push open. So we dug right there, and we got something like 300 gallons an hour.
Wow.
Out of that well.
Okay.
That's how strong it was. It was very strong. I don't know if that was that exact number. It was a huge amount of water.
It was a lot.
We had like an 8-inch diameter pipe, and it was full of water shooting out 5 feet. That's how much water we were getting. Anyway, that's how I first learned about this. But then I learned about the gold detector. And when I built my own, that kind of helps me. I can use that now to sensitize in a lot of different ways. If I don't have, the problem is if I don't have if I don't know what the frequency is, that's a problem because I can't get anything accurate. It's all over the chart.
Right.
But when I take my generator out to the area, like when I showed you those orbs and that kind of thing, when I take it out, then I can set it to a specific frequency, and I can go through the frequencies, and I can tell when I'm getting activity, especially if I'm photographing. So we've gone we've gone all the way up the whole spectrum, and we've gotten very interesting things on. I wish you'd find the one of the orb that I took.
I'm gonna start showing some pictures, and you can tell me because I have a and I was gonna go through. Is that okay?
Yeah, well, see if you can find that one reddish-looking Mars-looking orb.
Yeah, hold on. I know where that is.
Talk about that.
That's under the Dorothy file. Hold on. I don't know why I had it under the
Probably
Dorothy
is.
Hold on.
It
Yes.
was used.
It's like
Tom, you're
just a
making me
red.
seasick.
Yeah. I love Tom on the run. Tom on the run. Here we go. Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna show this, and then here. That
I know it was around
There you
there.
go.
It was around there.
is that
No,
it?
no, leave that. No, that's not it. But I want to tell you about that.
Okay, tell me. Okay.
That is what Dorothy calls that her healing orb. Okay. Now, if you will get a still of that, take it from you just photograph your screen or whatever. You will notice that orb will pulsate. You might even be able to look at it closely now. And did you see it pulsating?
It does. It's got the pink in the middle. Like there's a pink ball in the middle, and then the red. It is wild.
Now that is what Dorothy calls her healing orb, and that has also enhanced as we've had it. That's a still. That photograph right there, that is a still that I have that Dorothy gave me of that orb, that red orb that we took when we were there. It actually was visible to us, and we took a picture of it, and now it enhances itself, and if you stare at it, it will pulsate, which is really interesting to me. And it does seem to enhance.
That pink pops. That pink just starts to pop in my face. Like it's wild. It's really cool. I'm gonna scroll through these because you got a ton. Look,
okay, that's the one. That's the one I got across the street that I enhanced and added some light to it. But if you look at the black and white version of that, it looks for the world like Starship Enterprise. Amazing.
Oh, that's the one that you were saying. Yeah, there's all kinds of ships on this one because you got this too.
That's Dorothy's.
That's
that came
Dorothy's.
off of her one frame photograph. That was one of the physical craft that she called in for the.
Yeah, I actually have that clip also. That's one.
Now that is Peter Gatilla took that picture. We were at my property in Southern California, up near the ski areas, near Wrightwood. And I said, I feel like there's probably something around. So what I want to do is I'm gonna meditate, which I did. And Peter was behind me, and Peter took that picture. Now, if you make that larger, just enlarge the orb part. Can you do that? Might be difficult to do.
Can
now
that
enlarge
work?
it a little more. Enlarge it a little more if you can.
I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really see it on my. Well, you can see a second orb there. Make it a little.
You
smaller.
see a middle, like
there's like a second orb, but no, you can see they're overlapping.
Oh, right here.
Down below. So that was when I was meditating on the light beings or clearing my mind or whatever you want. See the pattern in there?
Yes.
And that was right in front
Yeah,
of
it's not just one solid circle. It's got like a big chunk.
I mean, if on mine, on the one that I've got, which is the original, I can see all kinds of interesting patterns in there. And then
I can
below
see
it,
really,
it's like an overlapping or a second orb. But that
yes,
that was that appears in all kinds of photographs with me. Now, I don't know if it's like a guardian angel around me. I don't know what it is. But especially when Peter Gatilla takes pictures of me, that comes up. That's right in front. That's in my driveway, looking west.
Oh, wow.
And the mountains are right over here to my left. There, that was it. Go back.
This one? Yeah.
That's what looked like.
I figured we'd get there.
Looked like Starship Enterprise.
It does.
Yes,
it looks exactly like it.
It really does.
That's the one. I stood there and watched that thing for God knows how long. but then, like I said, it went like 1, 2, it was gone. It was out of sight completely. So that's another one of Nikki Noel's, which I think we really ought to see her stuff. That is one that I got daylight. I didn't know that anything was there.
Wow.
I had no idea anything was there. And I got this buzzing in my ear in the middle of the day. And I went outside and took a shot of what I thought was empty blue sky. And I came back in and enlarged it and enhanced it, and that's what I got.
Awesome.
Wow, these are amazing. Is this your place? What is this?
No, that's not mine. That actually is Nikki Noel's, I believe.
Nikki Noel's. We're gonna have to have Nikki Noel on. I need to talk to Nikki Noel. This is cool though.
Well, Nikki is a really good friend of mine. When Nikki did not have her son with her, her grandparents had pulled some weird strings, and Nikki lost her son for a period of time, and so I found out about that, and Elaine and I began talking with Nikki, and we helped her over that spot. And I said, don't worry, intuitively, I feel like your son will be back. Sure enough, within 6 months, her son was back with her. Now she's much healthier. She manages a huge apartment complex now. That's Nikki's as well. But she's doing very well. So I told her that I was going to talk to you guys about having her on. So maybe we can get her to come on and share some of her stuff with you.
I'm just going through. There was a ton of pictures that I didn't know what they were. So we're going to have to. This?
You want to know what that is?
Yes, please.
Now, the guy that I was telling you about that worked with the one that did that new movie. I'm trying to. What's his name? The filmmaker.
James Fox. James Fox. You were talking about Fox.
James Fox. This is when his cameraman David West and I were working with one of the people at Knott's Berry Farm to devise a ride for Knott's Berry Farm, and these were the concept pictures that I came up with.
Right on.
Of that ride. That's like the window of the ride looking out at a sea of dolphins around Atlantis.
Nice.
I think there are a bunch of them right
nice.
in that. Go look at the ones that are right next to that, because there are some more that are really cool.
There was this one
There
that
you
has
go.
like, yeah.
See, we got the little robot with hands.
Yeah.
I love the
dolphins with
robot.
hands.
The dolphin's
Yeah.
carrying the shell.
That's
That's his communication device. That's cool. Is that a shell?
what happens in this ride. You can see that's the window, and those are windows of the inside of this craft. And so what you do, you're looking out. It's like a magic motion ride. So you're looking out the window, and as you're looking out the window, your seats are moving. Like,
Right
makes
on.
you feel like you're actually on the craft. Go to
Like the
another
new
one.
sphere.
That's that one.
Yeah, those are
That's-
so awesome.
That's
There
very,
should be
very
another couple that are
cool.
really cool.
I think, oh, here. I
It's all
got
right.
that.
We don't have to do them. That's the craft. See, you walk through on this dock, and you go in this door,
Like
and you
hatch.
can see the seats inside. And if you look inside this cavern where it is, there are all kinds of ancient Indian dwellings that are around it. What they do is when you get in the craft, it sounds like they're closing the door, and then you think you're moving, going underwater through this underwater cavern. So it's really a fun concept.
They
didn't go
so
with it.
cool.
They decided not to go with it, but it's too bad they didn't, because it would have really been a cool deal. That's another one of the orbs. That was one of the one that's up right in front of my house in the high desert in California. When I didn't have the generator on though at that time.
But it showed up.
What?
No, go ahead.
I was just meditating, and Peter Gatillo was taking pictures behind my back as I was doing so, and that was in the west, right there. We didn't. Some of these things we didn't even see, but when we took the photographs, we got them. So there are a bunch of the orbs that we have photographs of that they were around. I had orbs around me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was going on at that time. We were kind of in that frequency level, we were kind of open to all of that happening. And so I was seeing orbs as well as photographing orbs all the time at that time. I don't see quite as many orbs, but I see more things like that starship, that Star Trek looking craft now. I don't know, explain that to me. But
it makes me wonder, with everything that you... Go ahead. Sorry, Terry.
Was what?
No, go ahead, Terry.
No, go ahead. You were starting to say... You were
well, I wanted to ask you guys something, because we talk about all these amazing experiences you both have had. So what is the thing, like, out of everything you've seen after all these years, what is the thing you do out the most? Like, I want to hear both from Tom and you on that, because it's like there's got to be some things that just really just baffled you, or are you just so used to it now that it's kind of second nature?
Well, it's kind of second nature, but it's always exciting to see something. Tom has a really neat story about when he was out walking along the railroad tracks with some friends. That's a good story, Tom.
Tell us, Tom. It's Tom's story time now.
You guys, I was like 17 years old, and it was Cerritos, pretty close to where I live now, which Los Angeles County, close to Long Beach. But they didn't have a bunch of houses there. It was railroad tracks, and there was a few stables there, because it's a perfect place to ride horses. So I had a girlfriend, and then we were with another friend. There was three of us. We rode down railroad tracks, a few miles, and we came back, and it's about 6 p.m., starting getting dusk, and we're taking a saddle off to a horse, and my back was to the sound, and the girl and my other friend were on the other side of the horse, and all of a sudden the horse started jumping up and down, and we're trying to calm the horse down. Then we started to hear this high-pitched generating sound, going very high-pitched, and I look at the glow on their faces. Their eyes looked like we saw a ghost or something, or a UFO, and they had a kind of blue metallic glow on their face. I go, what? And I turn around, look around, and about 150 yards away, there was a big oak tree, and there was a huge UFO, huge, I'd say close to 100 yards in diameter, and it had a blue metallic glow, and was just glowing like a blue bolt gold, and making this generator sound, going, ooh, and all of a sudden I looked at it, and it had a glow like an aura around it, and all of a sudden it was there 30, 40 seconds, that we thought, and boom, just disappeared. And it wasn't like it accelerated. To me, it was like it just popped in the universe or this dimension and popped out, like changed gears. And then the interesting thing, like I told you guys before, I mean, we talked about it for hours that night, that three of us. Then the next morning, most of us forgot, and it seemed more like a dream. Did that really happen? And then they forgot completely. I had to remind my friends, oh, yeah, and it started coming back. And then by the end of the week, all of us remembered everything completely. Nobody, neighbors heard anything. But then what's interesting, that I felt like a sense that UFO popping in, and that vibration or hertz cycles put out, it kind of warped time and space and our memories that way. So it's like it almost made us forget something, because it's a warped time and space. Like it seemed like 30, 40 seconds. Then later we looked at our watch, and it was like a few hours later. So it seemed like it was so quick, but then a lot of time went by. and it took us a week to remember the whole incident. So that was my first UFO experience.
Hey, that's a really good one.
That's awesome. I'm
Well,
just
there's-
curious. So you did lose time then because of the time warp. So do
Yes.
you have any recollections whatsoever of being taken aboard the ship or the frequencies?
No,
of meetings, or?
I don't have anything like that. And, you know, I even try to do some hypnosis and take myself down and get people, but nothing came up. But, you know, what they said, just because I don't remember, that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. You
Oh,
know,
it
still,
definitely happened. It definitely happened.
yes,
There's no way that that didn't happen because you also had that time warp in there. And that's
right,
what I often will talk to people about and ask them how much time was missing. Like even Terry sharing earlier about
right.
that time warp. That this is a natural occurrence
It
that
is.
people don't think anything of because they just don't pay attention the
That's
way
right.
that we all need to, right?
Exactly. So maybe they took me aboard and said, oh, we don't want this one. This
Yeah.
is too much trouble. Threw me back, you know.
I doubt it. I
Now-
doubt that.
Yeah.
Now, since you asked that question, as Tom is talking, I'm thinking of something that happened to Peter Gattilla, myself, my wife Elaine, Peter's wife Lizita, and Samara, who is one of our Violet Fire group that Tom knows very well.
Yes.
We were at Sycamore Flats campground. Actually, it was Big Rock, which is right next to Sycamore Flats.
Right, right.
And we had been working on the Dorothy Izatt material, and we knew that certain things occurred when the light beings were around, and so we all were going out and sensitizing that night. And we had my motor home, and we put our easy chairs out there at Big Rock, and we all kind of sensitized. I think Peter was standing up in front of me about 20 feet. So we sat there, and as we all got a chance to relax and to get into a meditation state, all of a sudden, now we're 20 miles from anything. No lights around. There may maybe some small lights way away, like 10 miles, little tiny lights at a campground, but nothing large. We're sitting there, and I'm leaning back in my easy chair because I can watch the stars better. All of a sudden, the entire campsite lit up. It was like somebody had shown a 10,000 candle power movie light, boom, and then it stopped. So it was like, I could see where it came from. It came from orbit, I would guess, but probably not. It probably was closer than that. But it lit up the entire campground, literally. Well, if you're in a small room and you took a flash photograph, you know what that would look like. It would just. That's exactly what it appeared to be. Only it was kind of a white, hot light. It wasn't like a street light color. It wasn't like a house light color.
It sounds like they took a screenshot.
Light.
Okay. It's like they took a screenshot of you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because I lose some of the audio once in a while, and so I have to figure out what you said. Yeah, it was like somebody took a shot, but there are the film industry uses what they call arc lights.
Yeah,
those arc lights they're like a welding rod in a light, and it burns away this rod as it illuminates the scene. So you have to change the rod inside the light after it's been used for a while.
Okay.
So you have to change your arc lights. Okay. This was like an arc light. like a welding arc
Right.
that you see when you're not supposed to look at them, but if you were to look at an arc welder, that's what it would look like. Anyway, that just occurred. Bang. Then at that same spot, a couple of 3 years earlier, there was Bobby Slade, who wrote the book Bigfoot. There was Peter Gatilla. There was myself. There were a couple of the guys. If you notice, Chris, there's a picture that I sent you with 3 young guys standing with a cutout of a
the Bigfoot. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those are the 3 guys that I brought to Bobby Slate, and then she wrote the book, didn't even bother to thank me, but those guys are the guys that we were with that night. And
I'm going to show it here. Hold on. Let me show you.
Yeah, you can.
That one?
Anyway, that one, that's Willie Romerman, Richard Engel. That's the guys. That's the size of the Bigfoot that chased them down the highway at Sycamore Flats, which is where we were when this story I'm about to tell you occurred, and also where the arc light type light flashed at us. So we were standing there, and we were listening and recording or doing whatever we could do to sensitize. And we heard what sounded like a donkey bray across the valley. It was like a only it was like a donkey without the hee-haw. It was like that sound. And I'm like, what in the world was that? And so we all kind of stuck around for a little bit, and then it was getting like, I think it was like 3 in the morning or so. So we all decided, well, let's go ahead and go on down to Sleazy's and have some of Sleazy's chili, which, by the way, we couldn't eat before an expedition. We always had to wait till after the expedition to have the chili. Anyway, we all decided to go down, so they all kind of went ahead of me, and I had my red Ford Courier that I drove like a bat out of hell all the time. And they were already down the road, and I was coming down the road, and I was going around a curve. The curve went around, I don't know how to show you on screen. It went like left to right. And I'm coming around the curve left to right. And as I did, my lights shined on a creature standing behind a bush. This bush, I went back later, was 6 feet 7 inches tall or something. This thing was 3 feet above the top of this bush. That thing leaped across a 2-lane highway in one jump, hit the ground on the other side, went down over a 15-foot bank, ran across 100 yards of Boulder Stream Valley, straight up a 45-degree angle embankment, and off toward a place called Devil's Punchbowl, which there have been a lot of Bigfoot sightings at. So that occurred, and then if you're familiar at all with Bigfoot lore, you might know the name John Green. John Green is one of the foremost Bigfoot explorers ever. He was a journalist up in Harrison Hot Springs, British Columbia, that I dealt with and talked with for years and years. Anyway, John wrote me up in Apes Among Us and Track of the Sasquatch. So I've got the books. I've got Apes Among Us. Steven Spielberg has Track of the Sasquatch because I loaned it to him for Harry and the Hendersons. Those are the books that you see in Harry and the Hendersons in that one scene, and I haven't ever gotten them back. Hey, Steven, I want my books.
Spielberg,
Anyway,
return Terry's books, Spielberg.
Yeah, I need my books. Anyway, I got written up in those for that particular experience that I'm just telling you about. Talking about experiences over the years that stand out in our minds, that has to be the one. You know, it's like,
cool. That's it for you.
But Tom was out with us on so many expeditions where we went with like Andy Stone up at the lake,
Yeah.
Palmdale Lake, there Lancaster, Lake Lancaster. We were up in Hemet, at Lake Hemet, where there had been sightings. We were all over that whole area, and there were things like we heard voices. I know it sounds crazy, but we're not hearing voices ordinarily. But in this one area around Hemet, there were these stones that I swear to God, we were hearing voices from these 4-foot diameter stones. It's like, holy crap. And then Tom and I were out one time at El Mirage Dry Lake. Remember this, Tom?
Yeah.
We were out looking for UFOs and Bigfoot, and I walked over
Right.
to this giant rock, like 6 foot in diameter. I laid my hands on the rock and just burst into tears.
Really?
Stood there. I must have stood there and bawled for 5 minutes. Finally, Tom came over and rubbed my back and got me feeling better. And then we all
You had to give him a hug, Tom.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
actually,
remember.
I just wanted a back rub. That's what it was all about. Anyway, so they got me to stop crying. Then we went back to the cars, and it took me about probably a good half an hour or 45 minutes to recover from that. Now,
Right.
explain that to me. I don't know. Something was talking to me.
Energy.
Yeah. You know, so I'm sure Tom's got a bunch of those too. Elaine,
yeah,
I'm trying to get
you
Elaine.
remind me of another.
I want her to give me my dowsing rods because if I have those, I want to try an experiment with you.
Yeah, well,
Elaine,
one thing about dowsing rods, more for the audience knowledge, is that as we know, the Earth has electromagnetic field, lead lines, telluric lines, and they all interconnect. And that's what creates portals. Sometimes the portals are very positive, like Sedona, sometimes very negative, like Skinwalker Ranch or something, And it depends what we'll experience in that portal, because that creates a certain vibration. And sometimes those portals can connect to other dimensions, because they say we have like 11 parallel dimensions, and those dimensions can be higher level vibration or lower level. So a lot of weird entities and cryptids sometimes slip through here from other dimensions.
Yeah.
So a lot of the pyramids and churches in England and Stonehenge, everything were built on those telluric lines, on those energy lines, because the ancients knew that with the aliens, so they could get that magnetic field, that positive part to that. So like when you guys and dowsing, you're picking up on those lead lines and magnetic fields. And then we used if we're looking like a terror for water or gold, we have that in our consciousness. That's our intention. And because we're like the fulcrum, we're intuitive. And the dowsing rod is just an extension of us. It's like our subconscious impulses that we pick up intuitively. Bam, that makes it go down. Or if we got a pendulum, going to right or left, or it's picking up energy too. But that's because we're intuitive. Our aura, our energy, and subconscious little impulses are making go clockwise or counterclockwise to pick up, to identify with that energy. So it's just so people know what's going on. It's not some mystical thing. It's science,
No,
really.
right. It's just natural for us. I want to share something with all of you.
Okay.
Tom included.
Yep.
I want you to just
look
at the gray behind your eyelids.
Yeah.
Just bear with me for a minute. Close your eyes. I want you just to all to think positive energy rods cross.
Yes.
I'm not going to do this. I'm going to let it happen. Look what happened. Open your eyes.
Of course.
Whoa! Wow.
So we're hooked.
And
Like I said,
as
we're
you
all hooked
guys,
up together. You
Yes,
might
as
we
you
are.
guys know,
open your eyes and watch if you want to. You want to see it?
Uh-huh.
Watch.
yeah,
I have to hold them with my thumb because they actually are so strong. They'll just
Okay.
go all the same. Think the same thoughts that you thought a minute ago.
Yep, just with eyes open.
yeah.
Did you see?
Yep. It's
This one
awesome.
went first, and the other one.
Yep.
Now I wasn't.
So
I wasn't causing that. Okay.
Oh, I know
We-
you're
I don't
not.
cause
No.
the rods
We
to
know.
cross. I don't like to do that.
Oh,
I
Terry,
want it to be natural.
we
You don't
can't
like to
make
mess
this
with that
stuff up.
stuff. Yeah. Mhm.
We can't make it up. It's
No.
you just can't. It is what it is, and it's incredible.
Well, and
Yeah.
those aren't, by the way, those aren't the rods that the rods that I ordinarily use are much smaller, much more easy to handle. Those are the ones that I got from someone that I don't really like to use because you can't control. Mine I have are solid brass rods.
Right.
So I'm able to hold them with my little finger
Mm-hmm.
and up here. Is that how you do it? Do you
I
hold
do
them with
it
your
with-
little finger?
I do with my thumb and my pointer. So I hold it like this, and so
See?
they'll be straight
Try-
like this, just with my pointer and my thumb.
You might want to
So
try grabbing the bottom part of the L rod with your little finger like this.
Yeah.
See my little finger?
Yeah.
And then just put your other finger, let it lay on top of your finger there.
Okay.
So you've got it with your little finger and it's laying there so you can kind of halfway control. It doesn't just flop.
Right.
Then it will give you a little more control over it, and it'll actually move when it's supposed to, but it won't just run all over the place. So your little finger and let it lay on top of your index. Just try it.
Okay.
You see how it works.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
enough of
No,
that.
that's awesome. Thank you.
Show and tell,
I can tell,
everybody. Show and tell.
Well, I know I could literally feel. It's like when I'm doing my gold hunts, I can actually feel the pressure moving it.
Right.
I have nothing
Yeah.
to do with it. It actually moves itself. So
Yes.
that was a nice experiment. You know, you're miles and miles and miles away, and I'm still feeling the energy from you guys. You know.
Absolutely.
It was like, you know, the Rife frequency that Elaine used for her cancer cure. She had stage 4 ovarian cancer, and I found out about Rife frequency like a night, but this is how it all ties together. Bobby Slate was looking at Laetrile for cancer cure. Well, I had no idea that anybody that I ever knew would have cancer. Well, Elaine comes down with stage 4 ovarian cancer. So the first thing we did was get her on Laetrile, which is vitamin B16. That's B17,
Yep.
Elaine? B16.
B17. Yeah.
B17.
Yes.
B17. And so that's the Laetrile. And then I learned about Royal Rife, who had come up with the cancer cure using Rife frequencies.
Right. Yes.
So we bought the Rife machine. The Rife machine works quantumly. So no matter where we are in the universe, and we have the DNA, mine and Elaine's, in the little Rife machine, it will send that frequency out, that healing frequency out to us. And so I have stayed away from any kind of cancer. Elaine got over her stage 4 ovarian cancer. And her oncologist can't believe it. She's like, your cancer just doesn't act right. Why isn't it doing what other cancer does? You know, Elaine can tell you that herself. You know, that's what she says. And she was not on board with Rife or with Laetrile or anything when we first met her.
Right.
Now she's like, you know what? Maybe there is something to these alternative.
You can't deny it. These things cannot be denied at all. You know. So
well, look, we're frequencies.
Absolutely.
We're all frequencies.
We're part of it. We're all connected. We're made of water. We get affected just as much as the earth does. If it hurts, so do we. You know.
Well, you know,
we're all part of it.
I think we're going to start seeing more and more
Oh yeah.
frequency healing in the major hospitals and university hospitals, because I think that they're finally learning.
Yes.
Tesla said frequency vibration. Okay. He knew.
Mm-hmm.
I
Energy,
started
frequency,
looking into that.
vibration.
Oh.
Yes. Well, and
Yeah,
I don't know if
it was like,
I don't know if you guys know, but this is what I do. Like that, I'm an energy healer. I'm in my wellness center right now.
Right.
And when Tom was talking chakras, I was pointing to the chakras.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Here. And so I am always working with energy, frequency, and vibration to assist in other people's healing. I am all about the natural modalities. That's what I do. So
I've been
works.
posting energy, frequency, vibration forever.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
if you want
Akashi
to know
Chris
the
and I
secrets of the universe.
Yes, and we know, and we just had our second last space that we did on X. That was the topic: energy, frequency, and vibration. And I'm always talking about consciousness and the shifts in energy, and every single thing is energy, frequency, and vibration. It's where you're tuning into that, right?
Yes.
And Tom, when you were talking about the chakra alignment, I use crystal singing bowls in my healing center, and I do sound bath healing for people. And I've got 7 crystal singing bowls that are all tuned to the individual chakra.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Neat.
Yeah. So this is so beautiful for me because I resonate so much with everything you guys have been talking about. It's exciting.
That. Well, that's probably why. Go ahead, Tom.
Like all of us have done so much research, particularly Terry too. But just like you're saying, to us, this is the future of really healing. Certain hertz cycles frequencies can destroy certain illnesses, everything, and certain other frequencies can enhance things and mental states, mentality, consciousness level.
Absolutely.
And a disease to us, it starts in your aura, your magnetic field first, because there's a gap, there's a void, there's something in a magnetic field, out here first. And then that eventually materializes in our physical body. So if you keep your aura very strong and balanced and high level, like Terry's talking about, it strengthens your whole immune system for everything.
Absolutely.
That's what you do,
Yes, exactly. That's perfect. That absolutely perfect, the way that you described that. And it's so important, and everything is heading in that direction.
Yes.
Less people want to be on pharmaceuticals. More people are contacting about the natural healing modalities.
Right.
And I'm a Reiki master. I've been a massage therapist for many years. And I'm also a shaman because my ancestral lineage is from the Mi'kmaq tribe out of Nova Scotia, Canada.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been a shaman for 25 years.
That's great.
Yeah.
And just like you take Ayurvedic healing
Yes.
with herbs and everything, there's everything here on the planet to heal anything,
Yes,
and we just have
absolutely.
to think that way and be more natural and be attracted to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, everything that grows on Mama Gaia is for a purpose. And I would rather see people using natural herbs and medicinal property plants than using pharmaceuticals or
Oh my God.
using alcohol, because alcohol is poison too.
Right.
So if we stop putting the poisons in our body, we can get rid of the poisons we have put in there naturally. I do this thing called the ionic foot bath. It's a detox. And it removes all the heavy metals out of the body, any blood clots, and it just restores everything back to the natural way of being.
Yes. And then, there's a whole nother dimension of that where they have found with certain testing that we can get certain illnesses and weak genes from previous generations,
Absolutely.
up to 25 generations before us, that can be carried on. or we get psychic ability. That could be positive or negative. Some
Mm-hmm.
psychic ability, some genius, some certain capacity from previous generations. And then even there's been, on a negative thing like uh, Masonic stuff, there's some curses. There's a curse on a certain person that can be carried on through generations too.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important for all of us to be tuned into our own energy frequency and our vibration so that we can prevent that stuff. Like we can put protections around ourselves so that none of that stuff can happen. I do it every day. I do that stuff every single day, putting protections around myself. And, we are in control of our avatar. And we are all conscious, divine, spiritual beings, light body beings. And we're all part of the same one.
And and we need to pay attention. So many people are kind of in that zombie-like state where they don't pay attention when they're feeling low, when they're feeling they don't even realize why they're feeling so low. It's because their frequency is on the bottom. It's bottoming out, And there are so many ways to bring your frequency up through meditation, through prayer, through listening to better music,
Yes.
I have to do that myself. I have to do that.
Yes. Or even in the people we align with, the people we choose to be in alignment with makes a huge difference. So I've stepped away from many people in my life that were toxic because they brought toxic energy. And it's like, no, I don't want that for me. I can love you from afar, but I want to be around people that I'm in complete alignment with or pretty close to the same alignment in energy, frequency, and vibration. And then we're all boosting each other. That's how this works, right? So we keep each other lifted when we can think about these states.
Well, another thing.
For years. Go ahead, Tom.
Oh,
Tom.
What it ties into, like you're saying, sometimes you can have a lot of high-level spiritual people, that frequency in a certain city, and that can alter like a catastrophe sometimes. You remember the one guru Maharishi or something? What he was doing, he'd take his group and they have it tested scientific on record. They'd go to a certain city and they get together and pray and pray a certain amount, and then within a certain period of time the crime would go down. The less people would go to ERs and less people to hospital. So like the higher vibration people, it's like an inverted pyramid, like we're talking about with human consciousness. And then there's an inverted one, upside down pyramid for negative. So say the negative one, it takes 10 people to, to bring some drug addict up or something. But then you get to the upper ones, it takes one person to bring 100 people, one person to bring 1,000 people up, and that higher vibration is what tunes into the Earth's magnetic field to hold the planet together. The Earth has a consciousness too, and we're tied into that.
Yeah, we're here for that. We are here to help her.
Yeah,
go ahead, Terry.
Well, I'm praying that all that's happening now, with all of this stuff that's gone on just recently, even Charlie Kirk passing away, and all the stuff that's happened since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There have been so many vigils, prayer vigils. The big one, they had a huge one for Charlie in Arizona. In Phoenix, I think it was. And that has got to bring up the vibration of this entire planet. Because we've been down in the dregs for so long. And I've been feeling, oh my gosh, we've got to do something to get us out of this low vibration. So I talk all the time on X about trying to bring up the vibration of the whole planet. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make people aware that they've got to stop wallowing in the hog mud. They've got to get up there and get their frequency high so we can start recovering from this illness that we all have.
Yes.
And that, you sound like you're doing the same thing. I know Chris has got that high vibration. That's why we hit it off right there, Chris. She's a high vibratory person.
It is our responsibility because each one of us needs to take this seriously. What we throw out there is bringing us all down, people. What we are throwing out there is dragging us all down. Please just think about not only you, but it's like everybody else that's around you. We're all feeding off each other. And nobody, it's like we're not doing anything about it. It's like, oh, it all sucks. Well, let's do something. You know, it's like
if you think of it on a personal level initially, you find yourself feeling tired and sad and down and upset, and you need to think along the lines of thinking along higher lines.
Yes.
You need to think more positively, and that's a good way to start. You start thinking more positively about everything in your life. You get rid of the negative thoughts, get rid of all the negative aspects around you. If somebody makes you nervous and you can't stand to be around them, walk away.
Yes.
You know, it's going to bring you down to a low that you'll never get out. I know it's not easy, but you've got to, you know, because you just can't handle it. You know, we're not made to be able to handle that, you know?
No.
I didn't understand why in the world I was feeling nervous and upset around some people. Finally, it dawned on me, I can't be around them anymore.
Yeah.
So I just cut those people out of my life without being mean. I just stopped going around and stopped communicating. And all of a sudden, things looked much brighter. They aren't perfect, but they're much brighter than they were.
Well, but I think what you're saying, too, is so very important to anybody who listens to this show, is that as an individual, each of us as individuals, we are the only ones that can control our energy, frequency, and vibration. It's up to us. Nobody can control that for us. So when we are in a state of allowance for somebody to affect and dim our light, that's on us. That's not their fault. That's on us, because we can control the energy that we surround ourselves with. Right. And it's up to us to do the inner work. We've got to go inside and we got to clean all that out and say, no to the negative, no to the nefarious, no to the chaos, because we can have peace. We can have that. And I just would like to mention as well, you guys were talking about how you can shift things with meditation. And this is definitely, Tom, a proven scientific fact. Because I work with a group and I do these global meditations. When I get a message through saying that there's something going on the planet that needs assistance, if it's a weather anomaly or whatever that looks like, I gather this group of people. We all focus at the same time on the same day on the exact same thing. And the next thing you know, you hear the weather people saying, wait a second. I can't believe what I'm seeing, but this storm has completely redirected back into the ocean and it's not going to hit land.
I know.
It happens.
It does.
We have that power.
That's right.
Us, you know, we really do. And I want everybody to know that.
Well, you know,
I want everybody.
Here's another point.
I was working on intention. My intention, it's the only thing I can really work on, is my intention.
Right.
So I was doing some study and I learned something about putting your intention into a cleansing of something. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to put my attention into the turtle tank. I'm going to clear up that water in the turtle tank. Well, what I do is I use a little pendulum, which I think is right here. Yeah, it's right here. I use a little pendulum which helps me to get my intentions in line. I can use this. I don't use this as some kind of weird, you know, supernatural thing. I use it simply because I cause this to do whatever it does.
Right.
Okay? If it swings, yes, I cause it. If it swings, no, it's my intuition that causes it. Okay, it's not some supernatural thing. Our in our minute movements cause it to move in a yes or a no or whatever it does. Anyway, I focus my intention using this pendulum because it allows me something to focus on, right?
Right.
I cleaned up the fish tank, the turtle tank. I actually got the water to clean 1 hour's work. I said to Elaine, look at the turtle tank. And she goes, oh my gosh, it is clean. Now, I haven't done that for quite some time. I haven't worked on this. But I found out that when I was doing that, I could actually do that. So imagine what you can do when you put your intention toward bringing in a better cash flow, towards raising your vibration, towards bringing friends that are going to support you around you, that kind of thing, or to get right with God, whatever your intention is, you can actually do something. You can do the work if you're willing to take the time to do the work, and you can affect things all around you, maybe universally.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And we're all,
Goes along
as
with what
human
you're saying.
beings, we are all master manifestors, and we all need to. We're master manifestors. Can you hear that,
Hello?
Terry?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Terry can't hear me, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Tom, I think you might have lost the battery because we can hear you,
I might have
Terry.
lost my battery. And I've got
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you,
Tom. I want to.
Bluetooth, so let me change my battery.
You can hear me?
While you're doing that, yeah, Terry.
Okay.
Okay, Terry, go get your battery fixed. We're
Tom,
gonna
you
start
were gonna
wrapping
say
it up. I
something.
want to hear Tom. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna start wrapping it up here soon, but I want to
Okay.
get some.
Okay.
No, but Tom, I want to get your thoughts on all this
Okay.
because I really see one more thing. I really see that maybe you and Marley and Sati can
I'll let Elaine change
like
my
do
battery
some
for me,
healing based
Yes.
She can
topics
get it done quickly.
that we had not talked about.
Yeah,
And it dawned on me, we're gonna have a
I'm not
Bigfoot
hearing
show.
them.
I
I've
want to have a
lost my-
Hollywood show. I really want to
battery went
have
down,
a
so I'm
healing
not
show.
hearing the
Like,
Okay. Sounds great.
You good with
hold
that,
on,
Tom?
Yes.
You're good with it, Tom?
Excellent.
Okay. Sorry, I had to mute Terry for a minute because he's trying to fix his. Give me a thumbs
Okay.
up when you get your mic back, Terry. Tom, go ahead.
Okay. You know, what all you guys talking about, a simple thing for the audience, what we can do is just be kind to other people. You know, you do favors, go out of your way to do something nice for somebody, even to open a door, say something nice, positive to other people. You know, if somebody says something negative to you, most people's they want to defend themselves and start arguing. Well, I did this. You know, just say, "Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way." You know, I mean, you don't combat it. You know, even though my whole mastery and practice is warrior stuff, but it's more peace to create a peaceful vibration through that path. And by opening a door for somebody, doing something nice, saying something positive about other people, you uplift, you compliment other people, and that raises their vibration. And then they're going to carry that person said I was very smart or intelligent or whatever, or prettier, or I was in great shape or whatever. I mean, compliment people gets a lot farther than arguing people and defending yourself. And then like you're saying, we're the creators. Now, as soon as you start pointing fingers, we start pointing fingers. Well, you did this, but that's your fault. You did this to me, your fault. We give our power away. As soon as we take responsibility, like you're saying, for our own self, whether right or wrong or anything, we empower ourselves. I mean, if we take our power back, we can do something about changing it. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, not just being nice and kind to people and complimenting of people. I mean, even narcissistic people, you can control them very easy psychologically. I mean, CIA has done tons of research on all this stuff. And being involved with other countries and everything. And when I was in Special Forces, CIA was our kind of intelligence and stuff. But I learned more through my karate martial arts stuff and controlling your opponent mentally,
Yes.
physically, technically. So that's just a very important point. I think very simple. What more people can do to raise everything up.
I agree. And a smile goes a long way too. When
Yes.
we're crossing paths with somebody and we just send
Yeah.
them off a smile, 9 times out of 10, that person is going to smile right back at you, and you've then recalibrated their energies for the whole day just with a
Yes.
smile.
That's right.
Yeah.
Simple things.
Absolutely. I love
I
your
know we
way of
lost
thinking,
Terry
Tom.
again. We
Yeah,
keep losing Terry.
I'm really looking forward to doing the health stuff with Tom because
Okay.
I just feel so in alignment, Tom. And you speak the exact same language that I do. Akashi
I
Chris
know.
can tell you that.
I
And
know.
it's just, this has been so exciting for me.
Actually, in a way, we don't even have to talk.
Yes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, more telepathically.
Yes, absolutely.
I hope
I
Terry's
know.
okay. Terry keeps coming back and leaving
But
us.
he's static. Yeah,
Terry,
really static.
I really do see huge synchronicity between the two of you on this area right now. So,
Yes.
and I see that you guys have a connection, and it'd be really cool to have that. Yay, Terry's back! So,
Okay.
we're gonna start wrapping it up.
I
Tom,
couldn't get you.
anything
I
else
can't.
that you want to share before Terry? I'm gonna switch over to you because I want to hear your.
No, I just want to say, with knowing Terry's all these decades, he's an incredible, intelligent guy, very smart guy, and an expert researcher. You can see how he documents everything, and he's got proof in all the photographs. I mean, I never took that many pictures at all. I just went for experience that way, to adventure and interesting and knowledge. But Terry's a real true scientist. He really documents everything, and it's just so fortunate we got him.
Well,
We love you,
it's
Terry.
I love it because I think it's so important to put together the consciousness with the science to
Right.
figure it out. Because if we don't do that, there's no figuring anything out.
No, you got it. You need both. Yeah.
Yes, you do. Absolutely. I'm glad you're back, Terry.
Yeah, I tried coming back in for a minute. I couldn't. I kept hitting enter the studio and it wouldn't let me come in. So I had to do it about 3 times and it finally let me in. Anyway.
Yeah, I was letting you in. You were popping up, but then you were leaving. So we're good. You're back.
Thank goodness Elaine was here. I still haven't really got an earphone, but I can hear you just through the
microphone
speakers on the iPhone.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I finally my brain is finally beginning to function a little bit. So
well, we want to hear
me
your
an
parting
hour to get my brain
thoughts.
functioning. Anyway.
Oh, you've been functioning the whole time, Terry.
I was
You're
gonna
awesome.
say there is
You're on fire.
Nothing wrong with your brain, Terry.
So give us your parting thoughts for the night, Terry. Like whether it's ufology, whether it's how we should treat each other, whatever you want to, get out there. Share,
Well, I think that we've hit a lot of the points that I've always thought were very important about frequency, vibration, keeping your frequency high. I always have to go back to let your little light shine, because a dirty light bulb can't shine very brightly. So I try to keep my frequency high. That was definitely Dorothy's message to all of us, in all that she studied and learned about, and all that the light beings always talked to her about and tried to teach her. They were trying to teach her a new language. They were teaching her about philosophy. They were teaching her about history, about how we fit into everything, how we fit into the universe, how we're all part of each other. And that basically, I just want to put forward that idea that we all need to do that, especially where this planet has been lately. Our frequency has been so low that just terrible things have been happening. And we need to bring that frequency up so better things can start happening here on the planet, and we'll be able to advance as a planet. If we don't get our frequency up, we're not ever going to be allowed into the Galactic Federation. You know, they're just going to keep looking at us as the hogs on the
They're going to be like,
and we're
no.
not going to be able to get into that. So let's all work together, and I'll leave you with that thought. Let's just get the frequency up, people.
Absolutely. Great
advice. That is perfect. Great advice. So, okay. Sati, any thoughts before we wrap it up? Because we're at 3 hours. We're going to be back in a few weeks here with the Bigfoot show. I'm so excited.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Guys in the chat, everybody that joined us today and was using the chat to communicate, there were some incredible messages, and I'm so proud of all of you. And thank you all for being here, because you did a great job keeping up with everything in the chat. And as far as Tom and Terry, I enjoy both of you so very much, and I look forward to our next shows, and I look forward to other things that we're going to do together, because there's going to be a bunch of it. I can just see it and feel the energy of it. So thank you guys, because you've both been incredible.
Thank you, both of you, for even having us on. It's an honor to be here and have a chance to put this consciousness mentality out there. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's the pleasure is all ours, guys.
You're incredible, both of you. You know, I hope we didn't let you down.
Oh my gosh.
No, not at all. Kidding? This has been so much fun.
Okay. Can I just say one quick thing? Sorry, Akashi, but I need to say, because of what Terry just said, we never go 3 hours, Terry. So you guys have been incredible, because we've kept this going an hour longer than we normally do, because you guys are so incredibly interesting. And I don't know if you saw me, but I was like so encapsulated with everything you guys are sharing. So it's been an honor for me, for sure, for you both to be here with us.
Honor for both of us too. Thank you. And we'll look forward to future shows.
Yes, absolutely.
Tom,
me too. I want to go ahead, Terry.
I'll be talking to you, Tom.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, so hold on a second, because I'm going to sign off, but I want to talk to you guys real quick on the green room. So just
don't go away.
What were you going to say, Terry?
Oh, I just wanted to tell you, let's keep communicating, even though we're not working on a show, because there are things that we can figure out about how to do the next things we're going to do. So I think we should kind of keep in production as we're not on the show, but
absolutely.
We are going
for that. Yeah, just because there's so much to the Bigfoot stuff, the UFO stuff, the secret clearance stuff that I was working on. That's so much like what we're seeing now. There's just too many subjects. So talk to us, Trish. We'll see you later.
Don't take off.
Don't leave. So we're going to put you guys backstage, and we're going to play the outro. And you guys, real quick to chat, thank you guys so much. I'm going to mute you real quick, Terry, because we got an echo. There we go. So we got Nino and Diane and Prince Edward County, and 360 was here. And let's see, Raph, and Raph. Marcel was here. So we've had so many good friends. Aaron. We've had so many people dropping in, and Makeup and Sons, XJ. Just thank you guys so much, because we get so enthralled with our guests that sometimes it's hard to keep up with the chat, but we have been watching. Oh, and of course, Curious George, one of the first ones that was here. Georgie. Absolutely. So, okay, well, I love you guys. So we're going to go ahead and play us off with our outro, and I'll talk to you guys here in a minute. Let me go ahead and play that off. And you guys, thank you so much for everybody out there watching. like, subscribe, share. Please leave a comment. Let us know if we're doing okay and what else you want to hear, because we're going to have these guys back to talk about some really cool subjects. So it's not over, my friends. So here we go. I'm going to play us off. Love you guys so much. If I can find my videos, maybe I could play us off. Here we go. I'm going. We're going. Here we go. Peace.